Bellator's welterweight division is stacked with championship-caliber fighters. From the undefeated war hero, the all-American wrestling king, or the electrifying Englishman, one man has consistently remained at or near the top. Over the past decade, Lima has battled a who's who at 170, delivered highlight reel knockouts, and captured 3 world titles. Today, he sits at number 3 in the Bellator rankings, poised to make another title run and claim welterweight gold for an unprecedented 4th time. While everyone talks about Lima, Amazon, Storley, and Page, another fighter lurks beneath the surface with his sights set on the division's top spot. Jason Jackson might be ranked 4th, but his nickname has to be considered number 1.
The ass-kicking machine.
Well, Michael C. said it, so we don't have to.
Jackson has certainly lived up to his moniker, taking care of business in 5 straight fights, putting himself in prime position for a clash with Lima. And Jackson knows that 1 or 2 more ass-kickings just might earn him a title shot of his own.
I want the champ, and who don't feel like I should get the champ, we could fight.
Tonight, one fighter steps into the Bellator cage fighting for legacy, while the other fights for opportunity. Douglas the Phenom Lima and the ass-kicking machine Jason Jackson are set to get it on in the main event. In mixed martial arts, it's all about climbing the proverbial mountain to the top, and Bellator MMA has arrived once again in the picturesque Pacific Northwest. You are looking at majestic Mount Rainier, an active volcano, and for the first visit to the city of Tacoma, Washington, situated on the banks of Puget Sound, Bellator MMA hopes to deliver a night of, well, action that will erupt inside the cage, and it should culminate with a highly competitive and hopefully high-octane affair. So much on the line as number 3 ranked Douglas Lima, former 3-time welterweight champion, hopes to snap a 3-fight losing streak against number 4 ranked Jason Jackson, who has all the momentum riding a 5-fight win streak. That's your 5-round main event. Alongside Big John McCarthy, I'm Mauro Ranallo. And John, yeah, for the first time, Bellator MMA has come to the state of Washington. Tremendous night of action, including what we're about to see on the prelims. But let's talk about the feature attraction, because there is a lot to talk about Douglas Lima and what he's already accomplished in his career. But he comes into tonight's fight in the midst of the first losing streak of his 15-year career against a guy who is building momentum, and he keeps knocking off top-level competition in Jason Jackson.
Boy, he has. And you take a look at Douglas Lima coming off of the welterweight Grand Prix. He was the winner of that, the $1 million prize. Now, he went after the middleweight title against Gegard Mousasi and lost that. You're talking about fighting one of the best fighters in the world. His next fight was against Amazov, and he lost against an undefeated fighter. Look at Douglas Lima is still one of the top welterweights in the world. He has got power in his hands. He's got great kicks. He's got good jiu-jitsu. But in facing Jason Jackson, he is facing a guy that I like to say has nothing but confidence coming into this. He believes in himself, and he is good everywhere. He's a complete mixed martial artist. He will wrestle. He will strike. He will submit. He has all the tools, and the one thing he does have, he's got a blueprint. He has seen what other guys have done to beat Douglas Lima, and don't be surprised if he looks at that blueprint and goes, oh yeah, I'm going to use it.
And one of the reasons he has all of this momentum, all the success, previous 3 wins have come against the likes of Paul Daly, former Bellator title challenger Naaman Gracie, and former UFC champion Benson Henderson. Jason Jackson is doing exactly what he said he would do when he entered Bellator MMA for the first time, and now 1 win away from moving closer to a date with destiny. And so much other compelling action on tap tonight. Bellator 283 here in Tacoma, Washington. The co-feature #1 ranked Sydney Outlaw was supposed to challenge Patricky Pitbull for the title. Pitbull had to withdraw due to injury. So Outlaw will face Bellator MMA newcomer Tofik Musayev, who holds a victory over Pitbull in Japan. Musayev was already scheduled to be on the card, except his opponent Adam Piccolotti also withdrew due to injury. Another mouth-watering matchup at lightweight. The undefeated Usman Nurmagomedov, ranked #3, takes on Chris Gonzalez, who bounced back from his first loss in highlight reel fashion. And a very compelling matchup at 170 pounds. Lorenz Larkin has put together a 6-fight win streak, and he moves back down to welterweight to take on Muhammad Behimov, who is yet to taste defeat. And we're going to kick things off with what should be a barn burner at heavyweight. Undefeated Davion Franklin, ranked #8, against Marcelo Gome, who has a 100% finishing rate. But that's the main card. Plenty of pulsating prelim action, tailor-made to your satisfaction, coming up, and we're going to get things started right now between Archie Colgan and his opponent tonight inside the Bellator MMA cage, Brian Nuro.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to kick off the evening, we welcome our first fighter. This is Brian Nuro.
34-year-old Brian Nuro making the walk to the Bellator MMA cage for the first time, fighting out of Beaverton, Oregon. A Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt who's competed in Jiu-Jitsu professionally, and you look at his record, John, he's 8-4 with 3 victories via submission, but he's trying to bounce back from 2 consecutive defeats. And when you look at the matchup, you have to realize that, yeah, he's coming in as the B-side, but he's also coming in looking to seize this opportunity.
Well, absolutely is. He is the B-side of this, but this is, when you look at your chance, this is his chance. His opponent, Archie Colgan, had this same thing 1 year ago, and now he is part of the Bellator roster. That's what Brian Nuro wants to be.
And now we welcome his opponents. This is Archie King Colgan.
In the immortal words of the Beatles, they say it's your birthday. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Archie Colgan, happy birthday to you, turning 27 today. And John, obviously entering his physical prime and still very much in the early stages of what has already been a promising MMA career. Undefeated at 4-0, including a knockout win in Bellator against Sidney Ben Simons. Picked up another victory on the regional circuit and returns to Bellator primed to make it 5 in a row.
Archie Colgan comes from an amateur wrestling background. He is an outstanding wrestler, but he's becoming an outstanding mixed martial artist. You will see that he will be on his feet, he will stand, and eventually he will shoot for that takedown.
And in the words of 50 Cent, they say it's your birthday, so I got to modernize the reference as we get ready for the tale of the tape. And yeah, numbers include his birthday.
Well, you take a look at this tale of the tape, and the big thing is Archie Colgan 4-0. This guy is on a hot streak, and what Brian Nuro is looking to do at 8-4 is to take and put a 1 on the end of that and take a spot on the Bellator roster.
With the official introductions, here's Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Tacoma, Washington, as we get set now here at Emerald Queen Casino to kick off the Bellator 283 prelims. We'll do it inside the Bellator cage with 3 5-minute rounds at a contract weight of 160 pounds. First, introducing the blue corner, At 5'10", weighing in 159.2 pounds, his professional record 8 wins, 4 losses. He fights out of Beaverton, Oregon. Introducing right here, Nuro. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner. At 5'9", weighing in 159.6 pounds. As a professional, early on, he's undefeated at 4-0. He fights out of Denver, Colorado, Archie King Colgan. And when the bell rings, the referee in charge, Steve Newport.
Contract weight 160 pounds to begin Bellator MMA's first foray into the state of Washington. Archie Colgan trains with the likes of Kamaru Usman, Justin Gaethje, and other noted killers, while Brian Nuro fighting out of Impact Jiu-Jitsu and Burke Camp. And again, for Archie Colgan, still very much in a growth period of his career against a guy like Nuro who has the credentials that he has when it comes to the ground game. Do you want to test yourself in his domain, or do you want to showcase what he's attempting to do right now, his striking skills?
Well, you want to use your hands, and you want to make him realize, hey, I can keep this fight wherever I want it. I'm the better wrestler. I'm the guy that decides if we're going to hit the ground or not. I'm going to keep you away from where your strong suit is at. But we watched in his first fight, Archie Colgan knock out a guy who had him in a buggy choke. So submission-wise, he understands when he's in trouble, and he understands what to do.
Standout wrestler who just landed that lead right hand. Good footwork early. Nice double jab by the veteran Nuro. Jab to the torso by Colgan, and that one knocked Nuro off balance.
And what you're seeing is what we have seen from Archie Colgan before. Look at nice and relaxed, the jab to the body. Start making this guy's hands go down, and he'll come up to the top.
Impressed with his footwork as well, John. The lateral movement, the way he's tracking.
And look at the balance. Beautiful
sharp jab by Colgan. Coming up on 90 seconds, having elapsed here in the first frame. And there, beautiful three-punch combination by Colgan, and darted in and out, showing the maturity, John, to make the attack and escape.
Absolutely, and finished that off with a beautiful left hook. And one of the things to watch right now, as you're watching Archie Colgan, watch the head movement when he comes into range. He's not giving excessive movement, but look at that right there. Nice little head movement as he steps in. Head comes off the center line. Right now, Archie Colgan's looking he's in control of this stand-up right now. Very relaxed, very calm. He can do this all day long.
Colgan 4-0. Nuro has 4 defeats, but has never been finished in a fight.
Nuro just got stunned by another jab, though.
And got really stung with that right hand, well placed by Archie Colgan.
And you can only take so many of those, Morrow, before they add up to the point where the one puts you down and then you're in trouble.
An exchange at close range midway through the first round.
Ooh. That was what we call a swing and a miss, and that was close.
And Nuro switching stances momentarily back to orthodox, but feeling the effects of the striking and beautifully placed right hand to the body. Colgan using the jab to momentarily blind Nuro, and goes downstairs, making that early investment, Joe.
It was beautifully done, and again, he knows he's coming in, he knows what combination he wants to throw, and then he's exiting out, reestablishing, and coming back and doing it again.
Lead right clips the jaw of Nuro, and we talked about Nuro never being finished in a fight. He is definitely being tested here in the opening round, coming forward against Archie Colgan, who missed with that overhand right.
Nuro's taking a lot of shots in this round now. He is hanging tough, and he is not wavered at all, but these will add up. That jab keeps on stinging him and putting him back on his feet. He's trying to figure out what he can do against Archie Colgan, and right now
he continues to use an effective lead right hand. John has found a home upstairs. There's a calf kick delivered by Nuro. Nuro's game. I mean, the veteran knows this is his maybe one and only opportunity to make it on this stage, and he knows that, hey, the hype is all around Archie Colgan, but he's here to test Colgan, and of course he would love to record the upset.
Oh yes, he would. And right now he's in this fight. He's not winning. I'm not going to sit there and say this round right now is going to Archie Colgan. But
wow, another shot by Colgan was landing at a 65% clip, 24 of 37 in terms of total strikes landed compared to 12. Make that 13 of 52 for Nuro.
Think about what you just saw, though, Mauro. Archie Colgan caught that kick, hit him with a beautiful shot, knocks him down. As a wrestler, instinct is to go after him. No, just going out. I'll let you get back up. We're going to stay right where we're at. That's how comfortable I am right now.
The name of the sport is mixed martial arts, and the former University of Wyoming wrestling standout Archie Colgan putting on a striking clinic in the first round of his 5th professional fight against the 34-year-old Brian Nuro.
Just keep picking him apart. Keep moving the feet. Yeah. Excuse me. Good job. Hey, that's perfect right there. Trot that jab in just a little more. You're getting a little front heavy, okay? Get that trot. Trot that jab.
Colgan with that beautiful right hand right there. Colgan continuously upstairs, downstairs with the body shot. He changed things up. He used lateral movement, beautiful head movement throughout. Stiff jab. He had Nuro very confused on where things go. Catches the kick, and this is where you look and you go, this is what tells you he's becoming a mixed martial artist. Did not fall into the ground, was comfortable with what was happening, and decided to keep the fight standing.
Mouth guard in. Mouth guard in. Okay. Ready?
Archie Colgan, proud husband and father to a handsome baby boy. Begins round 2 against Brian Nuro, who says that martial arts, like for so many people, saved his life. And wow, there's a kick to the face by Nuro. Being a little more aggressive, knowing, hey, that first 5 minutes belonged to Colgan, trying to get back into it early.
Yeah, no doubt about Archie Colgan took that round 10-9. So Nuro's got to figure out, I've got to change things up. Something's got to be different. I can't let this continue on the same path.
There's a sharp jab that popped Nuro's head back, and it's the, again, you use the word a lot in this sport, but let's continue to use it. Here he is on his 27th birthday, and you see the maturity and the growth even from his last fight. And when you talk about maturity, you talk about what we're seeing, John, in terms of the patience, the placement, the precision.
Well, when you're a young fighter, one of the things that normally happens is you have success hurting someone with your hands. You want to go after it and finish everyone real quick.
Faked a single and went upstairs with the left hook, beautifully executed by Colgan. Knee tap upstairs, Johnny boy.
Colgan doing a very nice job when he comes in. Watch him slip his head inside, and then he rips the left hook or the right to the body.
Colgan told us that he was too fast, too strong, and too all uppercase letters damn good, and he's showcasing signs of that. Again, that sharp jab, it's a damaging blow, slowing Nuro down, backing him up. He's along the fence, and Colgan just misses with that sweeping right.
You hit 2 of those shots. And right now, Nuro needs to figure out, I can't go backwards. He keeps on going straight back. He's got to take the step back and start circling out.
And Colgan has to be careful. He's backing straight up again, not having theirs, finding the range beautifully with the jab. Would you like to see him put it together with a combination? Probably yes, so, but he's been successful with the single shots.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing I'd like to see him do is exactly what you're saying.
Nice combination there.
There's your 1-2. Let's follow it up now with a 3 and with a 4, because when you get hit with that 2, it's hard to see the 3 and the 4 coming, and those usually are the ones that put you on your butt.
Good hand speed on display. And again, all respect to Brian Nuro, who remains standing in front of Colgan, trying to find a way to disrupt his rhythm, to slow him down, but Colgan throwing with bad intentions.
Well, you can take nothing away from Brian Nuro right now. He's doing everything he can to just try to find that little gap, that little area where he can take advantage of and land a clean shot.
Wow, that jab is as nasty as they come, and marking up the face of Nuro. Nuro comes forward with 1-2, but intercepted by, again, the jab of Colgan. And you look at distance management, you look at the stats, John, with 2 minutes left in the second, total strikes landed, it's almost 2-1 in favor of Colgan.
Hey, come here. Huge difference right now.
Breaking the action. That's one way to stop his momentum.
Look at me. So you're both doing it. You're both sticking your fingers in there. No, you didn't get him, but you're both doing it. Okay, you okay? Can you see? I'll give you a second.
Most of the time when you see that defensively, that hand coming out, but that was him sticking his hand out while he was throwing the kick. That's when you don't see that, and he's responsible for it.
Let's go. You good? Can you see? Yes, sir. Okay, let's go. You ready? Time in. Fight!
At this stage of a career, you need to overcome all kinds of adversity, and Colgan on the receiving end of an eye poke, but otherwise it's been pretty clear sailing in terms of what he's accomplished in the stand-up department, where this fight has been exclusively contested.
Yeah, this has been all on the feet. No doubt about where the fight is going to be, because Archie's the one that, at this point, he can dictate it. And Nuro, in his mind, somehow he knows, he goes, I don't think I can get a takedown because he hasn't even tried it.
The sharp jab down the middle, another jab, and it's fundamentals, it's textbook.
And you're seeing Nuro, wipe his eye, trying to wipe the blood out. He's not been poked. That was a punch that hit him.
Coming up on the final minute of the second round, and Brian Nuro continues to eat a steady diet of jabs with the occasional stiff lead right hand, and sometimes that left hook from Archie Colgan.
Let it happen. Let it happen.
Nuro attended the University of Oregon for physiology. He wanted to exploit his experience edge. And 30 seconds now left in the second round, John, and it's been a rough experience for Nuro thus far.
Yeah, it's been a tough fight for him. He's trying everything he can.
Left up to the bottom.
But at this time, he hasn't been able to do anything other than the eye poke that's really affected Colgan.
And Colgan has caught the kick on a couple of occasions and made him pay with a right hand upstairs. So another great round as Archie Colgan comprehensively outdueling Brian Nuro, who is a battler.
Can I get him to sit, sir? Breathe. Don't with these jabs. Yes, sir. If he comes in, throw your up. Get that left up. Breathe, breathe, breathe.
Here's some of the shots. Beautiful jab. Changes levels on it. Miss on the counter by Nuro. Archie Colgan was just able to come in and just dictate whenever the engagements were going to take place, and it was always him usually starting it. You'd see Nuro trying to counter, and then he was finishing. Watch just at the end. Tries to attack. Beautiful right hand over the top. But we got to wiping it off. Nuro's got a chin, man. He's tough.
Dirt off my shoulders for Brian Nuro, 34 years of age, and has to summon up a Herculean effort, and that's exactly what he's doing. Third and final round of what has been a, dare I say, masterclass in the striking department for Archie Colgan. Now if he can put together some combinations, and again, Johnny, if you're in the corner after 2 rounds of what has been a very good night at the office thus far, here on your 27th birthday, what are you hoping? Oh, you're hoping that Colgan accomplishes something like that, I'm sure!
This is exactly. I looked at it.
Go for the finish, right?
Beautiful job by Colgan going after him right now. First time on the ground.
I was going to say, do you coast or go for the KO? He answered it emphatically.
He did.
Nuro has never been finished.
Well, he's showing why. He is just dog tough. That was a big shot he took. Now he's going to get back to his feet. Look, Nuro knows he needs to finish Colgan. Colgan, if I was in his corner, I'd say, you need to show me something still. I want you to get rid of him because I don't want him just to hang back. I want him to stay pressing, give those big shots like he is.
Man, he is teeing off and tattooing Nuro to the face with rights and lefts. The crimson mask beginning to form on Nuro. And if I use one pro wrestling reference, I might as well make another. Archie fighting like Hulk Hogan here tonight with the striking and the power and the way that he's marking up and breaking down a game Nuro.
But you can see Nuro, just look at his movement, he's slowing down.
Yes, he is.
And it's really opening things up.
But the guts and the grit on full display for this 34-year-old who is facing a man who is intent of being the future at 155, and an exchange along the fence as Colgan unloading on Nuro. Nuro goes down for the right. Referee steps in, and Archie Colgan on his birthday lights up Brian Nuro like candles and blows him away. John McCarthy, one question.
Yes, sir.
Are you not entertained?
I am totally entertained, and I am totally impressed.
And with this guy as well, Brian Nuro, and the effort he put up.
Absolutely tough, man. Take a look at what happened. This is it. Started third round. Then it was that left hook. And the fact that Nuro is able to make his way through that just shows how tough he is. Here comes the elbow on the ground. Watch him drop it down. That cuts Nuro on the forehead. Still hanging tough. And then the finish right here. Watch the dirty boxing, grabs the neck. Big right hand, left hand, but watch him set up. The right hand comes over. That is a big shot. Nuro's on his butt. Referee has seen enough. That right hand hits not flush, but hits the right spot and had enough behind it. Brian Nuro just had enough.
Who do you attribute the success? I mean, it's him doing the work, the striking, but who's responsible for the improvement we're seeing like we saw tonight out of Archie Colgan?
Well, obviously, he's listening to his coaches, but you got to give it to Archie Colgan that he's putting in the work and listening to his coaches.
Amen to that, and boy, he does a fantastic job on giving himself the best birthday gift I could imagine he would want at this stage of his life, smiling ear to ear, and had to go some rounds, picked up some experience, and put on a striking clinic. Let's make it official with Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end officially. 1 minute, 50 seconds into round number 3. The winner by TKO, still undefeated, Archie Colgan.
Well, after going the distance for the first time in a victory for Eagle FC, that's Khabib Nurmagomedov's promotion. He has his fingerprints all over this card tonight, but he gets back to finishing opponents, and he's standing by with Big John McCarthy.
I'm here with your winner, Archie Colgan. Archie, you came into MMA as a wrestler. You hardly wrestled at all. You were lighting him up on the feet. Talk to me about what your mindset was coming into this.
Honestly, it was just, I'm a well-rounded fighter and not just a wrestler. Not that I was trying to prove that or anything, but my coach and I, we spent a lot of time on my striking and improving it. I just wanted to display it.
Display it, you did. Going into the third round, I had you up easily by 2 rounds. You were just doing super well on the feet. You could have just taken it easy, not really gone after him. You went out there to prove a point and to finish your opponent. Was that your corner telling you to do that, or was that just you inside?
Oh, for sure. We knew we were up 2 rounds going into that third, and when I went back to that corner, they were like, you can finish him whenever you want. It's just stay loose, stay focused. You want to take him down, take him down. But if you want to stay on your feet, right, just make sure that we're pressuring him. We're going to get that finish. And that's just exactly what I did. Bit down and just move forward and got the job done.
Oh, you got the job done. Congratulations on your second win here in Bellator. That was fantastic.
And shout out, happy birthday to me. This is my 27th birthday. I got this fight on 3 weeks' notice, and I came out here and did my damn thing. And now we're going to celebrate that birthday.
So you know, Mauro Ronaldo gave you a big birthday shout. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Archie Colgan.
My man Big John, absolutely. What a birthday celebration it is going to be for Archie Colgan, turning 27 today and really just getting started after, well, he finished what he started against a valiant Brian Nuro, improving to 5-0 with 3 KOs now and 4 finishes. All right, coming up later tonight, Bellator 283 main card. It culminates with the main event 5-round welterweight matchup as former 3-time welterweight champion Douglas Lima looks to snap the, well, first losing streak of his impressive career. He takes on number 4 ranked Jason Jackson, who has won 5 consecutive fights. So he has all the momentum going into this, well, the biggest fight of his career. And really, it's a fight for Lima's legacy. And as we bring in Josh Thompson, Josh, for Jason Jackson, it's an opportunity to move one step closer to a championship opportunity.
Well, happy birthday to Archie Colgan. What a present to himself and a great performance that he delivered to open up these prelims. Yeah, to talk about the main event, though, we talk about the weigh-ins, the situation that's going on with the weigh-ins. You have Douglas Lima, who came in a little bit overweight at 172.8. That's not like him. He looked really sucked up yesterday. That's not like him as well. Now, everyone knows that he cuts a lot of weight. He is a big welterweight. He is used to these type of weight cuts. For him not to make weight is something that's very not of him. Jason Jackson came out and said basically, look, it's the same fight. He's the same fighter. He will bring the action because that's who he is. Douglas Lima is a 3-time world champion looking to try and get back on track to get to a 4th title. This fight is going to shape up to be a dynamic, explosive fight. Jason Jackson's got to bring the fight to him. Douglas Lima's got to prove that he still has it. I'm excited and pumped for this fight, and we're going to see how it all plays out tonight later on in the main event. Back to you, Mauro.
All right, thank you very much, Josh. Hey, Lima says he's going to bring more urgency. He says losing isn't an option. Jason Jackson says he's going to finish Douglas Lima like he finished his brother Diego Lima earlier in his career. We're just getting started here, Emerald Queen Casino, Tacoma, Washington. A battle in the bantamweight division. Undefeated Jalen Bates. Boy, is he creative and fun to watch on the ground. He takes on Mark Coates, who gets his first opportunity in the Bellator cage.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome to the cage Marky Mark Coates.
Well, he's hoping to experience those good vibrations in his Bellator MMA debut. And hey, I'm gonna get, I'm gonna give him already some kudos for coming out to Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, Mark Wahlberg, and all of his glory as a rapper. And Coates wants to put a wrap on all the hype and the winning ways of Jalen Bates, but he is in tough tonight, coming in against a guy who is really on a hot streak.
He's got a tough fight based upon he's going in against someone who is grown up as a mixed martial artist, doesn't have a specific background. This kid coming in, he knows, has been doing this for a long time, even though he's young. Marky Mark's got a lot to prove, but again, this is his opportunity, and he believes he can showcase his skill set and make it on the Bellator roster.
We just saw Archie Colgan victorious on his 27th birthday. Coates turned 27 yesterday. He's hoping to, well, join a victorious 27 club.
And now his opponent, the undefeated Jalen New Breed Bates.
We had an opportunity to say hello to Mr. and Mrs. Bates, proud parents of 25-year-old Jalen, who made his professional debut here in Bellator. He is 5-0, 4 submission wins, and those 4 submission victories in Bellator's bantamweight competition, already the most in divisional history.
This guy is unbelievably talented, submission-wise. He understands when he can apply different chokes, darce chokes, front chokes, everything. He is just good. And he's so long for 135 pounds. He will get things that other guys won't. Swings for the arm bar. Beautiful defense by his opponent, but right back into it. That tells you he understands the transitions. He understands the movement. Then he goes, gets those hooks in, and just starts putting that choke on. We've got a guy in Jalen Bates who is, in my opinion, this kid can be the future if he just keeps working hard.
And that future may be right now. All right, let's go to the 4-on-1. Speaking of numbers, John, here's the tail of the tape.
Well, you look at this at 135 pounds. You got a 5-0 fighter here at 25 years in age, 73.5 reach. That's a 4-inch reach advantage, 4.5. It's a lot. And we'll see if Jalen Bates can make that useful.
Here's the ageless Michael C. Williams.
For those joining us tonight live in the UK on BBC iPlayer, we welcome you to the Pacific Northwest here in the US as we get set now in the prelims for Bellator 283 to go 3 5-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. Introducing the blue corner. At 5'8", weighing in 137.8 pounds. His professional record, 10 wins, 7 losses. From Spokane, Washington, Marky Mark Coates. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner. At 5'10", weighing in 136 pounds even, the undefeated professional. Tonight, brings 5 wins, no losses. Fighting out of Long Beach by way of Lakewood, California, Jalen New Breed Bates. Yes, sir. In charge, your referee, Frank Trigg.
Jalen Bates, undefeated, looking to follow in one of his training partners, A.J. McKee's footsteps. Another guy who began his professional career here in Bellator. Record-breaking winning streak, 18-0 before tasting defeat, and he made it all the way to championship status. And John, it appears that you believe that Jalen Bates could very well be on his way to one day maybe achieving the same status, but Mark Coates would like to derail the hype train right here, right now.
Well, one of the things going to help him reach that status is being with a guy that has been there, done it, has faced those pitfalls, has had the success, and can help him through it. Right now, you're looking at Mark Coates looking to counter what Jalen Bates is going to do. That was a beautiful left hand straight down the middle.
Left by Bates, and when you look at this matchup, John, and you look at Mark Coates' record, he's 10-7, but 8 submissions, and their beautiful left hook level change goes for the takedown. Well defended by Coates. I was wondering, what jumping knee by Bates? Does he stick to his bread and butter, or does he take the path of least resistance against a guy like Coates?
You always, if you're being smart, you're taking the path of least resistance. You're looking at, where is my opponent good? Where am I good? Where's his weakness? Let me exploit that weakness.
Have you seen any weaknesses in Jalen Bates' games in the first 5 fights of his burgeoning career?
Sure, he makes young mistakes as far as he'll open up at times when there's no need to.
Defending the takedown here by Coates.
Coates working hard on that. He got his hands together. He'll be able, if he can just pull up, get his hips coming up inside. You saw Bates was able to break those hands. Beautiful defense by Jalen Bates. Nice step over.
Yeah, Coates known as a pressure fighter. He feels his greatest strength as a fighter is his heart. Gets the takedown. Bates very active, looking to reverse, gets right back to his feet and creates separation.
That right there, that is heartbreaking if you're Mark Coates. You worked really hard, you put a lot of pressure on it, you used a lot of energy, and you came up with nothing. You had his butt hit the ground, but you weren't able to hold position.
Coach represents the most experienced opponent of Bates' career. As Bates lands a beautiful straight left from southpaw, right down the middle. Body kick by Coates. No, vicious body kick by Bates, mixing up his offense nicely here in the first half of the opening round, John.
And one of the things when you're watching Jalen Bates, like you said, is there anything you're seeing? Take a look at his right hand.
Take a look at the head on center.
Exactly. He'll drop it down sometimes, and those tells can catch you when you have an experienced fighter in against you like Coates. So you need to be very just true to what you have been taught. Keep your hands up. If you're on the outside, you put them where you want. Nice fly knee.
Jumping knee to the midsection by Jalen Bates. Calf kick check by Mark Coates. And for Coates, 7 of his wins, including his last 6, have come in the opening round, and he's mixed it up with Jalen Bates. And right now, according to our stats, it's very even in terms of the numbers that have been thrown and landed.
Yeah, very close.
Although it appears that Bates might have the more eye-catching shots.
I think Bates has it. That was a beautiful.
That was one of them.
But
it's competitive.
The shots that he's thrown have had more impact on Mark Coates than the ones that Mark Coates has been able to land. So there is a difference in the strikes that are landing.
Yep. Coates representing Warrior Camp Fight Team from Spokane, Washington. Pablo Alfonso is head trainer. Under a minute left, there's a lead kick there, a kick to the shin actually by, and now Bates putting some flash into his attack, John.
That was flash, but that was actually aimed at the thigh.
I noticed that. There's a body kick named the liver from that stance. It's a kick by Coates, and Coates throws a combination. And Coates putting the pressure on Bates. Bates lands a left hook upstairs, but a competitive opening 5 minutes between the undefeated Jalen Bates and Coates looking for a, what was it, Rolling Thunder?
He had a Rolling Thunder attack right there, but...
And it ended in the lightning bolt shot?
It ended short.
And let's take a look at the replay.
Watch him come through. Watch that heel come over right down into the middle of the cup. That definitely landed where it is not legal to land. Take a look at another angle here. Here comes what we call the Rolling Thunder.
Oh, it actually caught him from that vantage point.
Well, the heel actually caught on the thigh, but the foot came over into the cup, knocking the cup into Jalen Bates.
Let's go. Wow. So, Mark Coates punctuating the round with that Rolling Thunder kick. And for Jalen Bates, again, continue to see wrinkles, the improvement, just like we saw with Archie Colgan. The striking game continues to evolve.
Absolutely, he's evolving, but he needs to, at times, understand the basics of don't sit there and lean into what Coates is giving you. Make him be in a position where he's reacting to your face. You don't want to be reacting to his, and that right now, Jalen Bates is reacting to those feints quite often.
Okay. Hey, them kicks is nice.
Right now, you're looking at Antonio McKee Sr. and Jr. Antonio McKee, fantastic fighter.
Looking forward to the trilogy with Patricio Pitbull.
That's the son. I was talking about the father.
Oh, but the AJ McKee's in there too.
Yes, he is.
AJ, as a play-by-play guy, I got to make that connective tissue work and promote this stuff. AJ McKee and Patricio Pitbull trilogy coming up, hopefully in the near future, but coming up right now, round 2 between the undefeated Jalen Bates and Mark Coates, who is making his Bellator MMA debut. And this again contested at 135 pounds. Of course, the Bantamweight Grand Prix underway, already some fantastic results.
Incredible, that Bantamweight Grand Prix. We've had some unbelievable knockouts. Guys are going for it, and that's what you want to see.
Sergio Pettis, the champion, sidelined with an injury. The interim champion, Rafael Stotts. And there's Mark Coates attacking the body and going upstairs with the kick and really trying to show Jalen Bates different looks.
Well, one of the things I like that I'm seeing out of Mark Coates right now is he is putting Jalen Bates on his back foot. He is pushing Jalen Bates back most of the time. Jalen Bates came out, started pressing, stopped it, made him go backwards, and from that point, it's created problems for Jalen Bates.
Rolling there as Coates has control, was looking for the waist lock and the takedown now on.
It all depends on that left arm, Moro. Take a look at the left arm. He wants to put that left arm on the other side of Mark Coates' head. He puts that on the other side of Mark Coates' head, he is going to be able to come out in the top position. Mark Coates trying to use it right there. Once he got that hand on the other side, and it's now he's in control.
Was looking for an armbar. Nice scramble here as Coates was looking for the armbar from bottom, and now it's Bates on top.
And this is where we've seen Bates become very, very dominant in fights. He is very good on the ground. His jiu-jitsu is strong. His balance and understanding where to place his body to put pressure.
Bates feeding him a steady diet of right hands.
Oh, you're looking towards the spladle here. It is not a comfortable position right now. Beautiful
Maybe
job.
It's revenge for that rolling thunder.
And he's got that. That is not comfortable for Mark Coates. He's trying to put it behind his head.
We talked about his creativity. We talked about his unorthodox attack against something you do not see in every mixed martial arts fight.
No, you don't. He lost that leg, which takes a lot of the pressure.
Let's listen to their commentary.
Come on, bro.
Come on, bro.
You're the Bellator boy, right? Try to get that left arm out. To be able to show something. Go nothing right now.
Oh, Mark Coates talking a little trash, flapping his gums and reversing position, but a blood attack now by Bates.
Beautiful job by Jalen to catch that arm. He's still not in a good position. Coates can pull himself through this. Nice job of sitting up. Now that he's sat up, now you see Coates having to sit through to take the pressure off of that shoulder. That's what put Jalen Bates in the top position.
Literally a game of inches as they've gotten this space in the center of the cage. So many scrambles, blood now on the face of Coates, but some great grappling on display, both offensively, defensively. The scrambles, under 2 minutes left here in the second round.
See, and right now, you're seeing Bates is not giving any ground. He's holding position. That's telling Frank Trigg he wants to work him here, and he's landing these kicks. They're not going to finish the fight, but they are going to start to slow down the movement of Mark Coates if he gets back to his feet.
Bates goes back inside the guard of Coates and then slashes him with an elbow across the face. Coates again. We mentioned his birthday yesterday. He comes into the fight with a heavy heart, having recently lost his brother Michael, who got him into MMA, and his grandmother Loretta. So he's fighting with a heavy heart and showcasing a lot of heart here. Final minute against Jalen Bates.
Jalen needs to make sure that he doesn't allow Coates to control that posture.
Nice. Intense battle for position here between Bates and Coates. Coates has Bates along the fence looking to secure the takedown. He's 0 for 3 in that department.
Bates is so tall, it's hard for him to get him elevated enough unless he gets his hands together and can get those hips up off the ground. If he doesn't, it's tough for him because Bates can keep his feet dragging on the ground. That makes him heavy and sticky.
Bates showcasing stout takedown defense, making Coates work for it. Now looking for the Kimura. 10 seconds left. Bates always fishing for the submission during the heat of battle, and it's been a good one here between Bates and Coates.
good, Shay. Get your mind right, all right? Get your mind right. You good.
Antonio McKee, get your mind right. It's all about the mental game, and we talk about the maturity of a 25-year-old in Jalen Bates, who gets to sit under the learning tree of the McKee family. And again, there are similarities to AJ McKee and how he started his career and how he shot up to the top of the mountain at 145. And well, they feel that Jalen Bates could be the man to do it at 135 one day.
He could be. I will tell you right now, I've been around Antonio McKee for 20-some years. He is a fantastic corner man. He is one of the funniest dudes in the corner you will hear. He will say things that I cannot repeat, but they are great.
And what about, you know, the story of the McKees? Obviously, our attention right now on Bates and Coates, but the fact that they were able to manifest their dreams and make it a reality, and unfortunately, in the rematch for them, losing to Pitbull as Coates secures the takedown, the first one of the fight against Bates. It comes at a critical juncture here in the opening minute of the third round.
Does you see him trying to lace the legs? Bates was able to get his leg free. You see him going toward that ankle to keep Bates from being able to put his foot to the ground and stand up. Good work by Mark Coates.
It's all about answering questions. It's all about finding out the truth, right, John? When you step into the cage, and we're having answers, and we're finding out more questions.
Well, as you go up and you start fighting more experienced people, they don't make as many mistakes. Things are not as easy, and it takes you more time to be able to get rid of a good fighter. And so you've got to learn those things as a young fighter. I have time. I need to use it all.
Jalen Bates never wastes an opportunity, never is static, always kinetic, always delivering a strike, never really settles.
No, he doesn't settle. He's always looking to figure out a way that he can look to do damage. Right now, though, he's just holding that arm over. Now he just lost it, but he's trying to get that leg unturked from Coates.
A couple of right hands by Bates. There's a knee up the middle by Coates, and it's now Bates who changes levels and looks for the takedown. He's 0 for 1 in that department. And Coates is now on his back in half guard, and you heard the words from the McKees. Go for the submission in the final round. An opportunity here for Bates to deliver.
And we'll see what he looks towards. He's already got that right arm laced on Mark Coates. So Mark Coates' right arm is in a position he can't use it. Now he's let go of it now. It looks like, I'm not sure. It's hard to see what he did. Knees to the body. And all of that is to make him move, open him up.
Midway point of the final frame. Jalen Bates with back position, well defended right now by Mark Coates. Coates able to get back up to his feet.
Nice work by Mark Coates.
Good work by Coates to not only stymie the takedown, put pressure on Bates, make him work even more. And yet Bates again, this jockeying for position, the battle, and this time it ends up favoring Coates.
And Bates made a mistake because Bates ended up where the hands came up off of that double leg attempt, came up high, and he allowed Coates to slip his head through, and that's why Bates ended up on the bottom.
And there is blood under the left eye of Bates. I don't know if it belongs to him or Coates, but it's Coates now looking to maximize this opportunity. He's officially 3 for 7 in the takedown department. Bates 1 for 3, but again, when you're on the ground with Jalen Bates and with Mark Coates, 8 of Coates' 10 victories are via submission. 4 of Bates, 5, and here's Bates again.
He's got a chance at this.
Delivering some nasty elbows from the bottom, looking to...
There's nothing more than a high guard. Good elbows by Jalen Bates. Should go for the arm. Nope. Passed him by.
And now it's Coates inside the open guard of Bates with 1 minute left in this bantamweight bout between the undefeated Jalen Bates at 5-0 with 4 submissions and the Bellator MMA newcomer Mark Coates, who is 10-7 with 1 knockout and 8 submission wins.
And this right here is going to tell you a lot about Jalen Bates, because you heard his coach saying, you're in shape, you can go. At this moment, you're tired. Everything's starting to slow down. Is he going to try to work towards a submission? Is he going to try to work towards getting himself out? Or is he going to accept this position until the end of the fight?
Under 30 seconds left. A competitive affair for parts of this bout, and yet you have Jalen Bates facing situations he's not faced before and always going for the submission. Posturing up is Coates. Ground and pound. Solid 15 minutes of action in the bantamweight division, Big John McCarthy.
Absolutely. Great fight by both guys. Mark Coates talking the entire time. That was hysterical.
But if you have the energy to talk, people will say you got the energy to do more.
Do more.
Be good. So officially 100 out of 145 total strikes landed for Jalen Bates, 48 of 110 for Mark Coates. Mark Coates did land 3 takedowns, but unable to make anything of them. And for Jalen Bates, he was 1 of 3 in the takedown department. But talk about your biggest takeaways from this fight as we await the official decision.
The biggest takeaways are this. Jalen Bates obviously is a dynamic fighter. He needs to stop making the small mistakes that are putting him in positions where now he's got to fight out of them. And that just comes with time. That's just part of your growth as a fighter. Mark Coates, great effort, beautiful job, stuck to what you do well, and just kept putting pressure because pressure was what was causing Bates problems in the fight.
How do you have it on your unofficial scorecard?
Unofficially, I have it
official decision.
I have it 29-28 for Jalen Bates.
And the reason why?
Look, let's go to all the submission attempts. Let's go to who was in more danger. Let's go to who took and landed the heavier shots throughout the fight. That's your difference.
Let's see if the judges here in Washington State agree with Big John McCarthy. Emerald Queen Casino, an intimate venue with not a poor seat in the house, and it is sold out tonight. We're just getting things started here on the preliminary portion of Bellator 283, where you will see, of course, a mix of hungry, up-and-coming prospects, veterans with something they feel they have still to prove, and real blue chippers who are just 1 win away, a couple of victories away from making it to the main card and beyond. Mark Coates feels pretty good about his performance. The day after his 27th birthday, Jalen Bates, he believes he's done enough to remain unbeaten. Let's find out from Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance inside the Bellator cage, we go now to your 3 judges at cage side. Your first judge, Glenn Roy, scores the fight 30-27. He sees the fight for Bates. Your second judge, Anthony Manus, 29-28. He scores the fight for Coates. Your third and final judge at cage side, Mike Bell, scores the fight 29-28 for the winner by split decision, the new breed, Jalen Bates.
He had to work for it, and at this stage of his career, he needs this kind of experience. Jalen Bates able to get past committed Mark Coates via split decision. Your reaction to the scores, John?
The one that was the deciding factor, that was the right score, 29-20. I don't think it was 30-27, but that was closer than it was giving it to Mark Coates for 29-20.
Well, there is the McKee family celebrating with Jalen Bates, whose future is bright at bantamweight. Let's get more from Josh Thompson.
Mo, what about my reactions to the score? What about me? Huh?
What
it's always about
you,
John.
Josh?
It's always about John.
What about you, you punk? You real punk, you. All right, Josh, what did you think about the scores, and what do you think about the performances thus far in the prelims?
I think the performance has been great. I also have to agree with John, which is very rare, but I'm going to agree with John on the score, 29-28 to Bates. Great performance, though, by Jalen Bates. Look, let's jump right into the co-main event. We're going to talk about that. We've got Sidney Outlaw fighting Tofik Mosayev. That's going to be a dynamic, explosive fight. But Sidney Outlaw brings something to the cage that a lot of fighters just don't expect. He can scramble, he can wrestle. When he fought Adam Piccolotti, who I've trained with, who can scramble like better than anyone I've ever trained with, Sidney Outlaw was able to out-scramble him at every turn of that fight, and that's what won him the fight. Look for him to get those takedowns early against Tofik Masayev, and if he can do that, then I believe that he's going to end up being able to get to that top position or be able to scramble to the back and get a finish against Tofik. Now, when he fought Miles Jury, he kept getting the takedowns over and over. He was able to still continue to get to the back, but Miles Jury, being a very good grappler, was able to defend until that third round, with Sidney Outlaw finally wore him down and got to the finish in the rear naked submission. But what we're talking about, Tofik Masayev is somebody who he throws everything behind every punch, and he has got to win over our lightweight world champion, the Patricky Pitbull. He's someone that brings the action. He does not wait patiently for the fight to develop. He brings every second of this fight. And look for him to do the same thing against Sidney Outlaw. He will press him on his back foot. He will let the hands fly in 3 to 5 punch combinations, and he will not hold back. He's a dangerous fighter from beginning to end. That's the type of fighter Tofik Masayev is. This fight is bound to be a barn burner of a fight. I cannot wait to watch this co-main event tonight. Guys, back down to you.
All right, you sharp-dressed man. You feel better now, Mr. Josh Thompson? Because I am feeling pretty good about what we're about to see next, because in the welterweight division, we have a man who thus far has been for real. That's Roman Feraldo, 7-0 with 7 knockouts. He takes on Luis Iniguez, who is 5-1, making his Bellator debut.
And now ready to make his way to the cage, Luis Iniguez.
I just knew Michael C. Williams would one-up me and do it just that much better. Just a little bit better. And you know what? A man and woman, everyone deserves to have their name said correctly. Luis Iniguez, he wants to hear his name as winner here tonight, but it's going to be tough, John. Let's face it, 36 years of age. He's fighting out of nearby Pasco, Washington. So again, a relative local product, but we have talked about what he faces in Roman Feraldo and what can Mr. Iniguez, who's on a 2-fight win streak, do to make it 3 straight tonight?
Wow, he's got to be very careful when he's out there, because Feraldo, we have learned, is explosive. He's got power in his hands. He's got power in his knees. He does a flying knee so well and so fast. Switch knees, beautifully done. This is a guy right now in Feraldo that is on fire, but Iniguez needs to just be who he is. He's a solid stand-up fighter, good Muay Thai, good ground game. Just allow the fight to come to you.
Well, Iniguez says win or lose, fans can expect a show.
And now, to make his way vicious, Roman Feraldo.
Looking for trouble? You came to the right place. You're looking for trouble? Just look right in my face.
If you're looking for trouble, facing Roman Feraldo may indeed be the wrong place. It has been thus far in all facets of his career as an amateur mixed martial artist, and really here as a professional. John, we mentioned it, 7-0 with 7 knockouts, and I mean, you talk about flying knees. He is one of 4 fighters in Bellator history to earn multiple knockouts stemming from a flying knee, joining Adam Boric, Michael Page, and Brian Rogers.
That was him against Pat Casey, and that was a beautiful flying knee. And here against Turquoise, hurts him in the stand-up, and then tells him, I'm coming at you. Here it comes, but
call the
and
shot.
Puts him out. That is a Babe Ruth moment right there by calling the shot. The music that he's walking out to is saying, you want trouble? Well, Roman Feraldo will bring it. He has got power, and power causes problems for people. He does not stop until he puts you out. 7-0 with 7 knockouts, Moro. That says it all.
Ominous words for his opponent. Roman Feraldo says, and I quote, I don't see it getting out of the first round. Close quote.
Our tail of the tape for this welterweight matchup is you got to go 7-0 against 5-1. Everything else is very close except for the age. Those records say everything. Feraldo 7-0. Iniguez wants to put a 1 next to that mark on the 7.
And here is the one and only Michael C. Williams.
Tonight from Emerald Queen Casino here in Tacoma, the Bellator 283 prelims go now to the welterweight division, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing the blue corner. At 6'1", weighing in 170.8 pounds. His professional record, 5 wins, 1 loss. Fighting out of Pasco, Washington, Luis Sicario, 23, Iniguez. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner. At 6'1", weighing in 170.8 pounds. As a professional, he's undefeated at 7-0, fighting out of Coconut Creek by way of Key West, Florida, the Renaissance Man, Vicious Roman Feraldo. And the referee in charge, Keith Peterson.
Roman Feraldo trains with a murderer's row at American Top Team, including Dalton Rosta and Jason the ass-kicking machine Jackson, all in action here tonight.
Fight!
Iniguez comes from a good Muay Thai background and many times will go towards the leg kicks, but he does have good grappling, learning. Took a big left hook right there. But his grappling is good with Fabiano Scherner out of American Top Team here in Washington. But Feraldo's already hit him twice, and he's been hurt.
And let me clarify, Sunshine State being very well represented. American Top Team, well, we do have not only Feraldo, but Dalton Rosta. Feraldo looking for that flying knee. Of course, Jason Jackson in the main event representing Sanford MMA. But boy, oh boy, a quick start here to the fight as expected. When you've got Roman Feraldo, he's got a lot of first-round finishes. Make him 5, including his last 3 wins, John.
He's already bloodied up, Iniguez. And it's the power, Mauro. When you watch someone that's got power, you see the opponent get hit, and you see the look in their eyes of, dang, that hurt. And then all of a sudden it happens again, and you look and go, oh, it's not going good for you right now. Iniguez needs to just control that emotion in it, take his time, be defensive right now, try to figure out where he can find the range to do damage against Feraldo.
Iniguez feinting, delivering the jab to the chest air, but standing in front of the dangerous Feraldo. And again, Iniguez 5-1, 3 of his wins have come via knockout, a couple of knees, and on the exit, the strike by Feraldo. Nice right hand, but a better right from Feraldo, misses
and a better
that
left.
kick. Right hand that lands for Feraldo.
That left hook has been off by an inch only a couple of times already, so it just takes a matter of spacing.
Nice double jab, right hand. The attempt, of course, laughed off by Feraldo, wasn't effective, but hey, Iniguez trying to dance inside that danger zone, as you call it, John. Nice short feint, and then the lead, 3 left hands by Feraldo.
Hands up, Roman. Let's go. Pay me for now. Let's go first, brother.
Iniguez with just the 1 defeat via decision. There's a left hook that did land, and then the right hand, a feint with the flying knee, and there's the jumping knee that misses for Feraldo. Under 2 minutes left in the opening round. Oh, what a left hand! Clocking Iniguez, who ate it.
That was a clean body shot by Iniguez just before it.
Right. With the left, and Iniguez looking to escape away from the fence. Jab goes to the body with the right hand. Feraldo jumping away enough to take off the steam. 1.5 minutes left in the first round. Lateral movement from Iniguez was tasted. The power of Roman Feraldo.
Iniguez trying to gain a lot.
Boy, he tastes it, he eats it, and finish for Roman Feraldo, who is 8-0 with 8 knockouts.
You saw Iniguez trying to give a lot of ground, trying to give space. Watch the left hand right down the middle. Hits him flush, just folds him over. You see the arms go out. There's nobody there. Big time power. Roman Feraldo, there's one thing you look. Every time he's hitting, it has an impact. It has damage on it. Big time left hand right there.
Feraldo delivering on his promise. It does not get out of the first round. In fact, he's now recorded a 6-pack of scintillating stoppage wins thanks to his ferocious power in the opening round, including his last 4 victories. Roman Feraldo, welterweight division. Yeah, just 8-0 now. Of course, main event of feature attraction of the welterweight division, but who's going to want to fight the guy like this who starts his career with 8 knockout victories?
It's just when you have that kind of power, you're always dangerous, and he has it. And sometimes you can't explain why. It's just God-given. He's got power. He's obviously working on that power and improving it, and he's putting it to use.
And he, of course, also trains alongside the newly minted middleweight champion, Johnny Eblen, with a performance for the ages, recording the upset of the legend Gegard Mousasi, and it continues to be an embarrassment of riches at American top team as Roman Feraldo remains undefeated. Let's make it official with Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end. 3 minutes, 42 seconds, round number 1. The winner by knockout, still undefeated, the Renaissance man, vicious Roman Feraldo.
Because I'm evil. Hey, the best corner in the game.
Roman Feraldo, hey, he can carry a tune almost as impressively as he carries that power. Mike Brown, the rest of the crew there, American top team, ATT, known for its TNT. And boy, Feraldo possesses plenty of that. All right, well, Feraldo would love to one day crash the top 10 welterweight rankings, and our reigning champion has returned to training in Germany. Undefeated Yaroslav Amosov, the last man to dethrone Douglas Lima. Well, Lima trying to snap the first losing streak of his career. He's number 3 ranked. He'll take on number 4 ranked Jason Jackson in the main event of 283. Jackson's won 5 in a row, including a win over the number 5 ranked Naaman Gracie. And John set the stage for this matchup coming up with so much at stake for both fighters, especially Douglas Lima, who right now fighting for his legacy as the most decorated welterweight in Bellator history.
Well, no matter what, right now he is the most decorated, but you take a look, what makes Douglas Lima so good is he is the complete martial artist. Here he is against Koreshkov. All the stand-up that went into this, and then in the final round gets the rear naked choke and puts him to sleep because he has that kind of ground game. He is dangerous on his feet. Take a look at the power. Whoop! Right there, it was the kick, and then that shot that puts Michael Page unconscious and puts the first mark on his career. And then Rory McDonald, you take a look at what happened in the low kicks and how much damage Douglas Lima can do with his striking. The big thing is, there's guys that have looked and said, you got to wrestle him, you got to make him work, and that's how to beat him. Jason Jackson can do that. Jason can fight on the feet. You look at him here against Benson Henderson. He is good with the striking. He's great with submissions, and he doesn't care if you're a submission master. He will take you down. Look at him putting Naaman Gracie on the ground and going after him with ground and pound. This man is not afraid to fight anywhere against anyone. A powerhouse like Paul Daly. I'll be in the stand-up with you, and then I'll take you down. He is a complete fighter, and he has the ability to stand with Douglas Lima and bang with him if he wants, or he can try to put him on the ground. Jason Jackson right now is a confident fighter. He is fighting the best that he has ever fought in his life, and right now he believes that this is his moment.
Whose streak will end? Number 3 ranked Douglas Lima, number 4 ranked Jason Jackson. 5-round main event coming up later tonight here at Emerald Queen Casino. More preliminary card action right now as we will say hello to Ahmed Magomedov, who is 9-0 with 1 no contest. He takes on Kevin Bame at 9-4 with 4 knockouts and a submission.
And now, to make his way to the cage, Kevin. Game time, Bame.
Kevin Bame says this is the route he has chosen. Started fighting at 17, and while he was still in high school, he was set to go to the Marines. When he had his first fighting, he decided, you know what, I'm gonna stick with fighting. And guess what, John? It's paid off. Here he is making his Bellator MMA debut, riding a 3-fight win streak.
He has been fighting very well. He is a gritty guy. We talk about guys with red hair, and they're always like, man, they're so tough. Well, guess what? Kevin Bame is that guy. He is tough. He is strong. He is good in the stand-up. He's got great wrestling. So he's a handful for anyone.
And now, ready to make his way, Ahmed Magomedov.
Ahmed Magomedov making his Bellator MMA debut. A fearsome reputation overseas and undefeated like Magomedov, who's no relation, but this Magomedov also known for applying relentless pressure.
Look, I've been there when Magomedov has been fighting. First off, he's in the best shape I've ever seen him in. He looks fantastic. And I will tell you, this guy can wrestle, he can submit, he can stand. He is a beast. So this is going to be a great fight.
And it doesn't matter which Magomedov it is. You don't want them on top of you, John. It's the non-comfortable version of a heavy blanket. And he comes in known for being heavy in many different ways when it comes to his skill set as we go to the tail of the tape for this battle of Bellator MMA newcomers.
Take a look at 8-0 versus 9-4, but it is that weight that I got to point out, 144.6. That is Ahmed Magomedov actually making championship weight, where Kevin Bame comes in at 147.6. That is over the limit.
And he'll be donating some of his money to Mr. Magomedov as we go to a man who's always on the money, Michael C. Williams.
To all those streaming tonight's prelims live on YouTube, we welcome you to both channels, Bellator MMA and Showtime Sports. Here at Bellator 283, the prelims go now to 3 5-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing the blue corner first at 5'11", weighing in 147.6 pounds. His professional record, 9 wins with 4 defeats. Presenting Kevin Game Time Bame. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner at 5'8", weighing in 144.6 pounds. As a professional, he's undefeated with 8 victories, no losses. Introducing Ahmed Magomedov. In charge of the action, your referee, Jason Herzog.
Ahmed Magomedov says he loves to wrestle and cause damage with ground and pound. Kevin Bame's nickname is Game Time, and there's a guy who's always sporting that game face. The opening bell, round 1 of this featherweight fight between 2 first-timers in the Bellator MMA cage, the undefeated Magomedov and the 9-4 Bame, and immediately it's Magomedov putting pressure on Bame. Bame goes to to the kick department.
Bame does not want to put his back to the fence. He puts his back to the fence. That is exactly where Magomedov wants to be. Go for the takedown.
Spinning back fist attempt by Bame. Goes for the single sprawl. Heavy pressure on top by Magomedov.
Very nice sprawl by Magomedov. You see him taking, he's pushing those legs out. A lot of heavy pressure on the shoulder and head area of Bame.
Good, nice and relaxed. You're looking good. Okay. Okay, we're trying to come up now. Let's come up, buddy. Let's up, coaches.
First minute gone here in the first round with Bame working to secure a takedown, but it's Magomedov in control on top, and
beautiful job.
Right away attacking the neck.
Pulling him over.
He's got 4 submissions.
He's in trouble.
Rear naked chokes make it 4 rear naked choke victories. What a impressive debut for the undefeated Magomedov, who forces Kevin Bame to tap for the second time in his career. The first time was verbally, didn't get a chance to say much verbally as he's being choked out. And there Khabib Nurmagomedov congratulating Ahmed Magomedov, and man, it's incredibly impressive. And there are many of them unbeaten, John.
Take a look right here. Take a look at the right hand, and you see him when he pulls on that leg and pulls him up. He already sets it up. Take a look at his left arm's already in place, and then he snaps palm to palm, puts pressure, and just locks it in with a ton of pressure. Notice that he keeps the arm with his leg. See that left leg? It has trapped the left arm of Bame. He is stuck palm to palm. He is gonna go out if he doesn't tap. That was a beautiful transition by Magomedov.
Doesn't matter which one it is. Magomedovs are impressive.
Well, so are Nurmagomedov
and other
or Magomedov.
How about Khabib Nurmagomedov earlier? Can you say my name in Italian? As a true Italian, I added a no to the first name and a no to the last name. All right, well, hey, guess what? The O remains on the record of Ahmed Magomedov as so impressive on the attack, on the execution. He now improves to 10-0 with 1 no contest, 5 submission wins, including 4 of his favorite, the rear naked choke. Let's make it official with Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, the tap comes by way of a rear naked choke. Official time, 1 minute, 16 seconds into round number 1. The winner by submission, Ahmed Magomedov.
Beautiful win by Magomedov. You look for special moments. That submission, unbelievably set up. He knew exactly where he was going. Gotta love a guy coming in and making a debut like that.
Another primetime player in the Bellator MMA featherweight division. And Khabib Nurmagomedov, man, as successful as a coach as he was as an undefeated legend of mixed martial arts. All right, still to come, of course, here tonight, the main card of Bellator 283, Emerald Queen Casino, Tacoma, Washington. 5 fights coming your way, and we promise to kick things off with a big bang. It's a heavyweight showdown. Number 8 ranked undefeated, Davion Franklin taking on Marcelo Gome. All 9 of his wins have come inside the distance, and with more on the first fight of Bellator 283's main card, let's check in with Josh Thompson.
Thanks, Moro. Yeah, you said it, definitely with a bang. We're talking heavyweights. Davion Franklin is a beast. He's a mountain of a man. When you see him in person, you think to yourself, he's got to cut the weight to get to the heavyweight division. But he is explosive. He is fast. He is dynamic. And when he fought Sayasoma, he was someone that just put Sayasoma back on his back heel, dictated where the fight was going, and just kept touching him and touching him until he finally was able to get nice, clean shots and were winning him the rounds. This was one of those fights, though, where he really had to kind of dig deep, really learn how to pace himself, and become a true professional mixed martial artist. He lived off of his athleticism early in his career, but as he's grown, he starts to understand what he needs to do to settle down in that cage. Now Bame, he is another animal that will just push pace, come forward against Swanson. He just touched him until Swanson got tired and then was able to land the big shots. Beautiful knee up the middle, finish him off with the hands. Nicely done by Bame. Look for him to start to do the same thing to Davion Franklin. He's going to try to push Davion Franklin to the back because he said in the interviews this week, if I'm moving backwards, I'm losing. My objective is to move Davion Franklin backwards so I can win this fight. I cannot wait for this fight. It's going to be an explosive, fast fight. But you know what? Let's get back down tomorrow on Big John for some more action.
Thanks a lot, Josh. Lots of explosive action here tonight. And we get set now for a matchup at lightweight. Gachi Rabadanov at number 9 against Bobby King.
And now ready to make his way to the cage, Bobby King.
Bobby King is a fan favorite and paying tribute to his roots. Growing up in Hawaii, danced in luau's. In fact, a true thrill seeker, John. He also spends time outside of the cage as a professional fire knife dancer, a traditional Samoan cultural dance that is typically performed in ceremonial processions. He got to perform around the world, but now looking to perform with, well, his other skills as a fighter here tonight, looking to extend a 2-fight win streak.
We've watched Bobby King multiple times, and in the stand-up, he has got power in his hands. He loves to stand and fight. He would rather be in the stand-up at any time. Here he is against Aviv Ghazali, a great submission fighter.
Undefeated at the time.
Undefeated at the time, and just putting it on him with big shots over and over. Ghazali suffered a knee injury, which ended up causing the end of that fight, but just unbelievable, relentless pressure by Bobby King. Here he was against Keone Diggs, the guy who I love, big power in his hands, and just was able to put volume on Diggs, hit him with shots that actually put him backwards. Bobby King, being trained by Dwayne Ludwig, has become an exceptional stand-up fighter.
And we've seen Bobby King with some bang, thanks to Mr. Bang himself, Dwayne Ludwig.
And now we welcome his opponent, Gachi Rabadanov.
'29-year-old Gachi Rabadanov, who representing the Magomedov family, the father, the patriarch, the late Abdulmanap on his T-shirt there, and of course under the learning tree of the great Khabib Nurmagomedov. But at 17-4-1, riding a 3-fight win streak, and boy, you talk about scary power against Daniel Scary Carey.
I'll tell you what, you talk about a scary.
There it is.
Take a look at what happens, and look at Carey. He's out. Look at the shaking of the legs. Rabadanov has got power. He's got great wrestling. Here he is against J.J. Wilson. And in this fight, was able to dictate where the fight was at. When he wanted to be on the feet, he was on the feet. When he wanted to take it down, he relentlessly took J.J. down. This kid can fight everywhere. Outstanding wrestling, power in his hands. Look out.
J.J. Wilson, previously undefeated, also with plenty of hype. So Rabadanov has looked sensational at 2-0 here inside the Bellator MMA cage as we go to the tail of the tape for this matchup in the lightweight division.
You know, looking at this, you can look at a lot of things, but it's that 29 years of age compared to 38. Rabadanov coming up and looking for his opportunity. Bobby King saying, I've got one last chance. Can I get it done?
Here's Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight here in Tacoma, Washington, the prelims move now to a scheduled 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division. Introducing first the blue corner. At 5'9", weighing in 155.4 pounds, just off 2 huge back-to-back victories. He enters with 12 professional wins, 4 losses. Ladies and gentlemen, Bobby King. And of cage, his adversary out of the red corner. At 5'8", weighing in 154.4 pounds, riding back-to-back victories himself. He comes in tonight with 17 professional wins, 4 losses, 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Rabadanov. In charge of the action, referee Steve Newport.
You couldn't ask for a better start to your Bellator career for Rabadanov, and for Bobby King, he's won 3 of his 4 Bellator MMA appearances. They touch up and now get ready to touch each other with a lot more bad intentions here as 2 fighters with momentum, 2 fighters looking to continue their winning ways, but a stylistic clash here tonight.
Absolutely. When you're looking at this, Rabadanov, like I said, great wrestling, but he will stand up, but he's taking a chance. The longer he stands with Bobby King, the more chance he's taking because he has the superior wrestling game. You might as well try to go to that, but use your hands to get there. Don't burn wasted energy.
Inside low kick by Rabadanov, double pumps the jab, trying to close the distance. King to a southpaw stance. Kick by Rabadanov.
And it's one of the funny things about, because Khabib Nurmagomedov was the guy that everyone saw first, they think every Dagestani fighter is just a wrestler. Well, a lot of these guys come with big time stand-up skills.
We just saw the wrestling from Rabadanov with the takedown, but Bobby King active on his back.
You're good there, Bobby.
Nice job by Bobby King trying to change that position, unbalanced Rabadanov. Rabadanov having nothing of it. The big thing right now that you're seeing, Bobby King with his right hand has controlled the wrist of Rabadanov. That's what's holding him in there right now. He's looking towards that Kimura grip.
Right hand to the body by Rabadanov. King trying to find that Kimura grip or double wrist lock, and Rabadanov continuing to pepper the body with some strikes. And Rabadanov remains in the closed guard of Bobby King. Midway point of the first round.
230, 230. Don't let him raise up.
As a referee, what are you looking at here, John, as one of the best ever do it? But honestly, as we see the position, and we've talked about this off air.
Sure. What you're looking at is you're telling the fighters in the back, if you're in the top position like you see Rabadanov, I expect you to try to drive this fight towards a finish. I'm not telling you how to fight. You want to go after ground and pound like Rabadanov is trying to do right now. That's great, but either look towards doing damage or look towards improving position. If you're on the bottom, you don't want to sit there with a closed guard like Bobby King. If you do that, I'm going to let him stay on top of you forever. I need you to open up and make him be the guy that's stalling the fight. Once he's stalling the fight, I will stand it up. But right now, in this position, when you're looking, Bobby King is wasting time. He's got a guy that is good in the top position. He doesn't want to make mistakes given, but being that you have energy and you're dry at this time, start to do things to get yourself out of this position. Closing your guard is only going to keep him there. Put feet on the hips, start to look for elevator sweeps. All of these things, hook sweeps, you can't sit there. The time is going by, and for the most part, if you're in this position and you're not able to hit him with a big shot or get the submissions, you're losing.
Rabadanov looks at you and says, easy for you to say, sir, against someone like me. Ranked number 9 and immediately taking the back of Bobby King, and Rabadanov looking to perhaps try to get his 6th submission, but working on his wrestling, and King, of course, making it difficult.
King doing a good job posting with that right arm. That's what's keeping him there right now. So Rabadanov really trying to drag him right back down.
Bobby King showing a lot of strength, a lot of good balance.
Dogged determination by Rabadanov, and Bobby King, as you mentioned, John, doing a good job of keeping it on the feet, much to the delight of the Bobby King fan club here in Tacoma, Washington. And some great action to begin the very first Bellator MMA card in Washington State. There's the shot and the takedown by Rabadanov. And let's see if he can maximize it this time, because Bobby King has done a terrific job from the bottom in terms of not allowing Rabadanov to do more damage and score more points.
Absolutely.
Defensively. So having said that,
he's been defensive, which means he lost the round.
Thank you. I was going to say, having given him all those plaudits, let's listen in here and see if you can figure out what they're saying, John, because I know you're a Renaissance
Very
man in
nice
your
in
own
the
right.
distance. Stay on that distance. Stay nice and relaxed, okay? When you're punching at him, remember, 1, 2, step out, or look to take him down. You're doing beautifully. You feel good?
I recognize that voice.
But feel it. Just touch, baby. Just touch. Touch real slow, pull, yeah, right? Let's not wait for this motherfucker. Stay in his face a little bit. Good distance for this motherfucker fight. He's just looking to fucking hold you. Get in his motherfucking face, but from distance, okay? Get in his motherfucking face. You hear me? Let's make this motherfucker fight. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, Javier Mendez and a more intense Dwayne Ludwig.
More colorful.
More colorful. He's known for dropping bombs inside the cage. Dropped a few of the F variety there, trying to motivate his fighter, Bobby King, and Gaji Rabadanov meet in the center of the cage. This is round 2. Lead right by King. And he's landed over the top with the right hand on Rabadanov. Rabadanov fires off a left. King needs to find the distance, gauge the distance.
King's going to have to be willing to eat one to land his own. So when you get into that, I'm trying to touch without being touched, which obviously is what he should be doing for the most part of the fight. But there comes a point where you're going to have to bite down and understand that, you know, I'm going to have to stand in here, and to land the shot I need to put him in a bad spot, I might have to eat one.
Of course, Patricky Pitbull was supposed to defend the lightweight championship in the main event tonight against #1 ranked Sidney Outlaw, forced to withdraw due to injury as King trying to stuff the takedown, but Rabadanov gets it and goes into side control.
Good thing that King was able to let go of that. He had his arm over for that guillotine, but it was going to get trapped in this position. Rabadanov, good shoulder pressure, just using his body weight to create a pressure to keep that back flat on the ground.
Bobby King has never been submitted. 3 minutes remaining in the second. Cross-side position there, and Rabadanov fighting for position and back. Has the option, of course, of delivering some knees from side control, but King remains very active and goes looking for the submission from the bottom. Well,
there was no submission.
Nope.
Yeah, no submission there. He ate a big elbow, which made him move, and you see Rabadanov trying to change the position and slide his knee across. He got caught into that, so now he's in half guard, but still in a great position to do damage.
And that's what King was doing, trying to set up a position which could have potentially led to submission, but it's all Rabadanov in control, on top position, neutralizing, trying to neutralize King, trying to go to ground and pound hammer fist there. A couple of hammer fists by Rabadanov.
And seeing right now, when you're seeing King push, King's using a lot of muscle, a lot of energy, while Rabadanov is just pressing down with his weight. There's not a ton of energy lost by him. He's just letting King push against that weight.
And Rabadanov trying to go to full mount, but King shutting it down with the half guard. wrap.
He is, but now he's in a gift wrap.
And now it's a left hand to the body by Rabadanov, so he has the opening with that left hand. And he is slowly making his way to full mount, but
three-quarter guard is what we'll call it.
And now he does. Yeah. And King gives up his back. Again, King has never been submitted. Rabadanov has 5 submission wins.
And it's getting closer.
Including 2 rear naked chokes. Both of those, his last 2 submission wins, so looking to make it another rear naked choke submission, but Bobby King, plenty of fight left in him, trying to defend.
Not a fight, but you can be choked out with one arm. You hear it all the time. People go, oh, you can't choke him with one arm. Yes, you can. Right now, he's holding on to that one arm.
Can you choke Bobby King with one arm? Is the question. And now back to 2. And King continues to defend, and Rabadanov forced to release.
Still a lot of time on that clock. 40 seconds left in the round.
And Rabadanov has his hooks in on the back mount, trying to flatten out King. Attacking the neck again with 30 seconds left in the round. And King reversing it. Well done by Bobby King.
Great job by Bobby King to just stay calm during a bad time.
And it is a submission attempt from the bottom by Rabadanov. High drama here in the final seconds of the second.
Had it belly down, let go of it.
Fantastic round between Rabadanov and Bobby King. Wow. Beautiful reversal by King against a guy like Rabadanov. You don't see that every day, sir.
That was beautifully done by both because the transition of it was fantastic. A great effort by Bobby King.
Switch crosser and let that motherfucker go, okay? Deep breath, slow down. One Bobby over 2. He's just waiting for you to bring your hands back to him.
Here's Rabadanov when he has that back and he goes for the choke, and you saw Bobby King trying to relax, trying to stay calm, holding on to the one arm, saying, as long as I can control the one arm, you're not going to get me. Rabadanov then puts him in another position. You see Bobby King step over. Rabadanov then switches it to an arm bar.
Go, second
that arm got extended. Bobby King gives position, jumping over here, but fights his way by stepping over, and right there, Rabadanov knows, I've lost it, let's go. Great work by both guys.
How do you have it going into the third and final round on your unofficial scorecard as the bell goes to begin the final frame?
Unofficial, I have Rabadanov on 20-18. I have him winning both rounds. Bobby King has the ability to end this with one shot.
And he just landed a right-left combination and then a right uppercut on the inside. But in terms of the statistics, Rabadanov landing at a 66% clip, 57 of 86 in total strikes. And for King, who just got rocked there by a shot from Rabadanov, he's 13 of 40, and he's messing with fire here right now.
Well, I think his coach Dwayne Ludwig knows you're down.
Yep.
You got to go
down literally now.
Yep. Now he's down again.
Yep. 3 of 5 in the takedown department for Rabadanov. And King has done a terrific job of defending, of being active on the bottom, and again we saw that reversal in the second round. This is what you talk about, John. Bobby King doing anything but accepting his position.
Exactly. He's trying to do everything he can to scoot his hips. You saw him taking the risk, but eventually Rabadanov was able to step over, get to that half guard position.
So Rabadanov doing what he has to do methodically, systematically, and in the midst of the chaos of Bobby King's defense is taking those subtle movements to get into better position.
He keeps on advancing that position.
Rabadanov told us about his approach in terms of the wrestling. And again, when you come from his lineage, not to say they're carbon copies because they each have their own coat of paint on it, but it's an incredibly dominant and highly effective style. And how do you solve it? Because most of them are undefeated. And that's not hyperbole.
Well, then don't ask me how to solve it, because no one else has been able to.
I mean, Rabadanov obviously comes in with 4 defeats, but I mean, at the level of the Magomedovs and Magomedovs.
You got to be honest, and you got to take a look at Abdulmanap Magomedov and what he did as a coach. First for his son, then for guys like Makhachev, and you're seeing the Rabadanovs and everybody, they all fight different. Yeah. And that says something about him as a coach, about what he didn't try to force them into a specific style. He took where their strength was at and just tried to make them better.
And Rabadanov not looking to force the situation here, has Bobby King utilizing all kinds of energy, trying to stay active while in the defensive mode with 2 minutes now left in this fight. And Rabadanov now half guard.
Close to passing into a full guard. Right now he's all the way to quarter guard, so.
And there it is.
There it is. Yep. And he's got that gift wrap again on Bobby King's arm. King's able to get it free. But Rabadanov just on top, dominating the position, dominating the fight at this moment.
Dominating positionally and maybe going to try. He loves to work at close quarters, doesn't necessarily posture up and deliver the ground and pound, but just making King suffer here with this smothering attack and the occasional strike.
It is. King's able to get that foot back at least, so now he's back to a half guard. But it's the pressure of that shoulder that is smothering King's ability to breathe clearly.
King throwing shots from the bottom to the rib cage, but not that effective. And Rabadanov continues to control position, but again, stacking up. Bobby King looking for that arm.
King was able to get it back to a full guard. You're seeing Rabadanov push it over all the way to, he's in side control. You can take a look at the leg over. It doesn't matter, that's side control.
Well, with 30 seconds left in the fight, Bobby King has landed just 16 strikes, 48 attempts for Rabadanov, 87 of 121. He is 72%. They say anytime you're at 50% or greater, you're having a good night at the office. Well, Rabadanov is having a dominant night at the office in that regard. But the flexibility of Bobby King and the work, the determination, the guts, but Rabadanov utilizing his wrestling to get it done against Bobby King. And we'll go to the judges' scorecards. How do you have it after 15?
Oh, it's easy. This is Rabadanov's fight.
Famous last words. But, okay, what impressed you most by Rabadanov? And
there are several things that really impressed me about Rabadanov. First off, he didn't come out just to be a wrestler. He came out in the stand-up. He used his hands to work to get to the takedown. And then when he got the takedown, he was dominant from those positions and went back to what he was being successful with time and time again. So just a well-orchestrated, beautifully performed fight.
Is there a next level to what he can do in those situations and positions
Absolutely.
that he found himself in tonight?
Yeah, if you're going to take a look and say, you know, oh, can he get better? Everyone can.
Everyone can.
And, you know, in those positions where he had the rear naked choke, in the position where he had the armbar, there's little tiny nuances that'll make the difference of him being able to get out like he did, or it's a finish.
Now, we don't know the official decision. What about Bobby King and his performance tonight? I know you feel that he didn't do enough, but man, he tried to do enough.
No, look, he fought the best fight that he could fight against a guy that has the ability in a specific area to dominate him. And it was the wrestling was the difference in the fight. If you're Bobby King and you're looking and saying, what could I have done different? Well, you could have been a better wrestler. That's easy to say. That's not easy to do, especially at 38 years of age.
Let's see if the judges found it easy to score. Let's go to Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go now to your 3 cage-side judges. Anthony Manus, Mike Bell, Brianne Davis. All have it exactly the same at 30-27. I'll have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Rabadanov.
Rabadanov improves to 3-0 in the Bellator MMA cage, 18-4-1 overall, as the two camps exchange respect and pleasantries, and Rabadanov continues on his merry way in the Bellator MMA lightweight division. All right, let's check in once again with Josh Thompson.
Well, speaking of lightweights, go ahead, let's jump right into Usman Magomedov and Chris Gonzalez on the main card. This is going to be a dynamic fight, explosive fight. I've trained with Usman Magomedov. He is everything that people talk about, but people also believe that he's a lot like his cousin Habib and his other training partner Islam Makhachev, where they like to wrestle. He is a dynamic wrestler, but he is known for his stand-up. He's got that Taekwondo-style stand-up, but he can also be a dog when he gets to the grappling and the wrestling as well. But he prefers to stand and look for the knockout. He can finish you when it hits the ground, but that side kick, that push kick up the middle, all of those things with his long-range striking, look for him to sprawl and brawl, keep this fight on the feet against Chris Gonzalez, and make him pay for every time he overextends. Chris Gonzalez, though, a top-level Greco-Roman wrestler. So he's got to work his way into the clinch, try to get this fight to the ground and get to the top position. He does not want to be the wrestler on his back or underneath Usman Magomedov. He wants to be the one dictating the pace of the fight, pushing Usman around the cage. And if he can do that, he's going to have a successful night in terms of winning round by round. He's got to make sure he does not overextend and try too hard to get these takedowns and leave himself out of position. This, to me, is going to be potentially fight of the night for both fighters. There's a lot at stake in terms of working your way up the rankings. We're looking to see a great fight. Hey, guys, back down to you guys.
All right, Josh, thank you very much. Flyweight action coming up here in the prelims, and we take a look at the rankings. Newly minted champion Liz Carmouche, #1 contender. The woman she defeated, Juliana Velasquez, rather controversial fashion. And we, of course, have #4 ranked Lima McFarlane in the house, and we're getting set to see #5 ranked Veta Artega take on #7 ranked Vanessa Porto. All right, hey, I mentioned it, and it's so nice to have with us here live at Cage Side at Emerald Queen Casino in Tacoma, Washington, former queen of the flyweight division, Lima McFarlane. A pleasure to have you here with us. I know you're getting back to action on August 12th against Bruna Ellen in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I gotta say, what do you think of our first visit to Washington State, where I know you have family?
I do. Us Hawaiians, we have family everywhere. Right? But my mom actually lives here, taking care of grandma. So I knew I was on a plane, gonna go see my mom and watch the amazing fights tonight.
So I want to get your take on what has been a bit of a turbulent road for you after having had so much success, I know, with health and with what's gone in the cage. Where are you at mentally, and how do you feel about your next fight against a double tough Bruna Ellen?
You know, I just wanted to be active. I was out of fighting for almost a year and a half, and so yes, even though I did suffer a loss in my hometown, the vibes were so amazing that night that I was like, did I really lose? You know, but the main goal was to stay healthy and stay active. So as soon as the MRIs came back that said nothing was broken, and I was like, okay, put me on the next card, please. So 3 weeks out from Sioux Falls, super excited to just get back in there and keep on this active road.
I know that you had a knee injury going into that fight, and it definitely had an effect on your ability to go in for the takedowns and to get into those positions where you had the power to drive through. How are you feeling now? How is your training going coming up on this fight?
You know, I just have to adapt. I'm not getting any younger. And so I think that...
I know that feeling.
Yes, yes. So I think that from now on, it's just adapting my camps, adapting my training to just deal with the inevitable that, again, we age in fighting. And but, you know, I feel like that experience is what is going to give me the edge over younger, healthier opponents.
Her fights in her native Hawaii, John. I mean, we've been Saitama Super Arena, Madison Square Garden. I don't know if I've ever experienced more goosebump-inducing moments than the atmosphere when you fight in your native Hawaii, and how special that must be for you, because it certainly is special to us when we hear an entire arena singing.
Yes, yes. So in Hawaii, we say chicken skin.
Oh, chicken skin, that's right. That's right. Well, 101. We are looking forward to getting your insight for our next fight tonight, because it is taking part in the flyweight division, as we will get set to bring you a matchup between number 5 ranked Vida Artega and number 7 Vanessa Porto.
And now, ready to make her way to the cage, Vanessa Porto.
Well-traveled veteran, one of the most experienced fighters in women's MMA, former Invicta flyweight champion who holds notable victories over some notable names: Jermaine Durandami, Alara Joani, Roxanne Modafferi, Zwala Frausto, Tarla Rosa, Jennifer Maya. But she's also been in against the likes of Chris Cyborg and Amanda Nunes. And while I have a moment, want to congratulate Sarah Kaufman, former Strikeforce champion, who had many great moments on Showtime. She's retired, as has Jessica Aya. Lima McFarland joining us. I mean, it's a time of transition for everybody in the sport, and it's amazing to see just how far we've come when it comes to women in mixed martial arts.
Yes, and you know, I was complaining earlier, I'm not getting any younger, but you know, we see fighters like Vanessa Porto, who's been in the game forever. You know, she has really fought the who's who of women's MMA, and you know, she looks great for, I think she's 39 or so, and you know, so it's just very inspiring that you can still have a successful career in this sport, you know, despite being older and being around for as long as she has. So super inspiring, truly a pioneer of the sport.
And she was reminding me to tell you she's 38.
Oh, 38. I'm so sorry, Vanessa.
And now, making her way, Vida Artega.
Vida Artega ranked at number 5. And Lima McFarland, you know Artega very well. You handed her her first and only knockout loss back at Bellator 220 in April of 2019. It was a doctor stoppage in the 3rd round, but talk about being inside the cage with Artega and what she brings to this fight tonight.
My gosh, you don't even have to be in the cage with her to know that she brings it every single fight. And, you know, she was physically so strong, so intense. And, you know, like you said, it was a doctor stoppage. It wasn't like she wanted the fight to stop at all. She wanted to keep going. And, you know, I had so much respect for her after that fight. And who knows, maybe down the road a rematch will happen.
Well, the 34-year-old coming off a majority decision win over Desiree Yanez at Bellator 257 in April of last year. Said she started off slower than she would have liked, but overall was happy with her performance. It is number 5 Artega, number 7 Porto, as we go to the highlights in that fight against Yanez, John.
That fight was outstanding, and the big thing that we've always seen out of Vida is that aggressiveness. She's always trying to come forward. She will take a shot to give a shot. She is strong. She does have power in her hands, and when she hurts you, she goes after you. And so we've seen Vanessa Porto. She's good everywhere. She doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Can Vida Artega actually make Vanessa Porto start to make mistakes that opens up the game for her?
All right, let's go to the tail of the tape for this flyweight matchup scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds at Emerald Queen Casino in Tacoma, Washington.
As good as Vida is, 6-4, only 10 professional fights. Look at all of the experience for Vanessa Porto, and she's fought the very best there is in the sport.
Here is Michael C. Williams.
Welcome once again to all those joining us on BBC iPlayer Live in the UK. Here in Tacoma, Washington, we're set now for a flyweight feature scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing the blue corner. At 5'2", weighing in 125.8 pounds. Her professional record, 23 wins, 9 losses. From Jaú, São Paulo, Brazil, presenting Vanessa Porto. And across the cage, her adversary out of the red corner. At 5'4", weighing in 125.8 pounds, the former flyweight title challenger enters tonight at 6'4". She fights out of Boise, Idaho. Introducing Vita Artega. In charge, your referee, Keith Peterson.
The penultimate matchup of our preliminary portion of Bellator 283 will be contested in the flyweight division. Again, number 5 ranked Artega, number 7th ranked Porto. And Big John McCarthy and I happy to be joined by former flyweight champion Lima McFarlane at cage side. And Lima immediately Porto feeding that right hand and going downstairs with a low kick, and as expected, no feeling up process.
No, Vita is not one to hold back or feel out. She kind of just goes for it, and I think that it's nice to see Porto matching that intensity.
And John Porto said she would bring the intensity. She wanted a brawl tonight.
I don't know if she ever wants a brawl. She's a technician, I know, but she's landed 2 solid right hands in the very first couple of seconds of this fight. And if Vita does not figure out a way to stop that, it is not going to go well for her.
Lima, you fighters always tell us the truth in fighter meetings, right? When we ask you questions like, John McCarthy, you guys would never lie to us.
No, not at all. No strategy there.
Never, never.
Opening minute of the matchup here, and after a quick exchange, beginning to settle down now here. A calf kick delivered by Porto. Artega responds upstairs. What do you look for in this matchup, Lima, in terms of the game plan? As the kick caught by Artega, looking to take Porto down.
Well, Artega, she needs to stay on top if she wants to be successful on the ground with someone like Porto, who really is a technician. So that was really smart of her to catch that kick. If she could take her back down to the ground and secure that top position, I think she's going to be in a really, really good position. Nice elbow.
Beautiful elbow strike.
And you're going to see that when Vita is going forward, she feels comfortable in the fight. When she is flat-footed or just stationary or going back, you know Vanessa Porto is giving her problems.
Bring your feet. All right, bring your feet, jab body over.
So much more experience for Porto here in her 33rd professional fight. For Artega, it is fight number 11. And there, Artega coming forward and then stuffing the takedown attempt of Porto and attacking her neck.
Yep, she can set up that guillotine. She does have a guillotine finish on her record, and
yes,
against Denise Kielholtz, I was in the front headlock during our fight, and I can tell you it was extremely tight. So, that just shows how strong Porto is, that she was able to pop out of that pretty instantly.
That was a very nice knee on the exit by Artega. Always try to finish with that shot. If you're going to lose the position or get out of the position, make your opponent realize something's coming at the end.
There, Porto countering, but Artega coming forward again and punctuates that combination with a kick just out of range with the 1-2. Oh, there's a lead right hand that caught Artega from Porto.
That right hand has found the mark throughout the first round here. He's been very effective with that right hand.
A lot of feinting and all. Porto landed the right hand again. Artega goes to the body with the jab.
And you notice that Artega, she likes to come straight forward, and Vanessa's doing a really good job of cutting the angles and making her miss. So whenever Vita comes in straight in, that's when Vanessa is landing that right.
You can here Artega's corner. Again, the right hand on the money. But Artega's corner is telling her she needs to come forward. But right now, she's not feeling it against Porto because of that right hand.
Artega fighting out of Boise, Idaho, and Straight Blast Gym in Boise, Idaho, as well as Combat Fitness, and looking to light up Porto, landed the kick. Porto lunges forward with a right. And this is a fight breaking out in the final minute of the first. They started frenetically, and now in the final minute, another fierce exchange. Who does that behoove, Lima, in terms of getting into a firefight?
Well, right now, Vida, you know, Vanessa has some good head movement. She's ducking under, but I think that she might be caught if Vida throws a nice uppercut or a knee. And, you know, it's kind of showing. I don't know if Vanessa is losing steam right now or you know, how her gas tank is doing, but she has slowed down quite a lot since the beginning of the fight.
Yeah, if you're looking for the brawl, that is what Artega needs in this fight. If she can get Vanessa to get into the brawl, that's a good thing for her.
Final seconds of the first round. Spinning back fist attempt by Artega. Biggest takeaway from the first 5 minutes, Lima.
My biggest takeaway is it seems like Vida, she's actually picking up steam. She's getting stronger throughout the fight, and you'll see that in her previous fights too. She really doesn't lose any steam going in. So I think that as the rounds go on, it's going to be in Vida's advantage.
Okay, but we're letting her off the hook. Okay, we have to step in.
Here comes, this is the right hand, I believe. Look at that clean shot by Porto. Slips her head underneath, and that right hand has connected throughout this fight. Well, the first round at least, and she was effective with it. But Artega was able to come in a couple of times and land good shots, and when she got this front headlock position and she decided to leave it, she left it with a beautiful knee. And so that was an impressive moment for Artega as far as that shows that she's thinking. She's not just being the brawler, she's being a technician as far as using all the tools that are there for her.
It's a scary woman.
You gotta love that look when you see someone that ready to start it.
Yes, and you're not standing across from her. Yes.
Yeah, as you were, but it's Porto that lands a solid 1-2 to the face, and Artega biting down on her mouthpiece and throwing with bad intentions. Artega in her 10th Bellator women's flyweight bout, the second most appearances in the division's history here in Bellator, behind the former flyweight champion who joins us at cage side, Lima McFarland, with 12. Of course, her 13th will be coming up August 12th, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, against Bruna Allen.
Yeah, you know, it was nice. Vida and I, we were kind of part of that first wave of flyweights that Bellator started with the division. And so, you know, I do secretly root for that first wave of girls who kind of we started our professional careers with Bellator and has built up during the, you know, the flyweight rise. So, you know, I despite fighting her already,
I was going to say, easier to root for her when you beat her already.
Yes, exactly.
No, she's pulling the Josh Thompson and being a homer.
Oh, and there again, nice 1-2 by Porto. Has some power on her punches, but Artega is linear, and there's a calf kick, and now Artega, beautiful counter right from Porto upstairs.
I hate to say it when ladies are fighting, but Artega is a junkyard dog. She's in there. She just comes after you and is non-stop with what she's trying to hit with you. And you hit her.
Blood at the hairline of
That was
Porto.
from an elbow. She threw a nice elbow that hit the hairline of Porto.
And Lima Artega sitting down on her punches, both of them are.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, that was a beautiful elbow on the break against the cage. It looks like Vida's the one that's throwing elbows this fight and cutting her opponents open.
Yeah, I remember someone that put a little bit of a mark on her forehead.
And Artega with the combination before exiting, using her footwork, kick by Porto. 3 minutes remaining in the second.
Hey, let's level change, Vida, level change. Keep her going forward. Yes, yes. Straight right, straight right. Straight right.
They're right in front of each other, not really utilizing angles, and Porto's face, due to that elbow to hairline, and where it is, Lima Lei, it is trickling into her eye.
Yes, and you can see Porto wiping away the blood occasionally, so definitely slowing her down a bit.
And those shots will slow her down.
Nice catch.
Yep, and John Artega has Porto on her back, but wanting to still deliver some violence with the kicks.
I think what you're seeing right now is exactly what Lima was talking about. Porto is starting to slow down. She's getting tired. Some of the shots are starting to take effect, and she's just not as explosive as she was in the start. You can even look, she's starting to push that right hand instead of snap it out.
Lunging forward, under 2 minutes remaining. Both have been credited with 47 landed strikes thus far in this fight.
You know, I was surprised that Vita let her up, so it seems
I was too.
She has a game plan to keep it standing, which, I mean, I think she's edging her out on the feet, but, you know, Vita's top pressure is really, really great on the ground. So, you know, to see her let Vanessa up, I think she's definitely sticking to her game plan.
Artega has one knockout win as, again, she defends the takedown well with the sprawl, attacking the neck of Porto.
That was 2 nice body shots that made Porto shoot.
Can she get another guillotine?
She's in trouble. She's pulling that up.
Yes, there's the top.
And there is the second submission win for Vita Artega, and it's 2 guillotine chokes, the first against Denise Gilholz in September of 2018, and now here tonight, Vita Artega vanquishes Vanessa Porto via submission, and her 2 submissions both courtesy of the guillotine choke.
Watch the body shots. Boom, boom. That's what makes Porto decide I'm going to shoot, and from that point, you see Vita, as she's pulling, she starts to put pressure, driving forward on that. As soon as Porto's in that position where she's got her hips in front of that neck, that's a problem right there. That is tight. She's unable to relieve that pressure. Beautiful submission by Artega. Here you'll see the tap. Once she starts to put pressure forward, watch the hand. She taps the back of the leg right there.
And almost to the day of the 10-year anniversary of the first time Porto was submitted by Sarah Delelio via reverse triangle armbar. Porto forced to tap out due to the guillotine choke, and she now falls to 23-10. But it's all about Vita Artega and Lima Lei. I want to get your final thoughts on Vita Artega's performance here tonight.
You know, that really was a very technical plus brawler, like we're all used to the brawler Vita. That was an amazing performance. It was like she was just picking away, letting Vanessa get up until she was so exhausted she could not defend against that guillotine. So that was very tactical, and congrats, Vita. You looked great tonight.
So glad to have you join us tonight, Lima Lei. Continue to enjoy the visit with your mother, and we'll see you August 12th, Sioux Falls, South Dakota against Bruna Ellen.
3 weeks.
All right, let's go up to Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, the tap comes by way of a guillotine choke. Official time, 3 minutes, 47 seconds. Round number 2, the winner by submission, Vita Artega.
Big win for the number 5 ranked Vita Artega, submitting Vanessa Porto via guillotine choke in the second round. Let's go to Big John McCarthy.
I'm here with your winner, Vita Artega. Vita, you came into this and you were the higher ranked fighter, fighting someone that had a ton more experience. What was your thought process as you stood across from Vanessa Porto?
You know, at this level, every girl's gonna be tough, so I knew she was gonna be tough. But I also know I belong here, and I also want another title shot, so, you know, she was in my way.
She was in your way. I hate to say this because it's not nice to call a lady a junkyard dog, but you're a junkyard dog. You go after people and you have relentless pressure. When you were eating the right hand of her quite often and then started to walk through it and you could see her starting to wilt under your pressure.
Yeah, after the first round, my coach was telling me, you got to step in and giving her too much of a space. So I was able to pick that up more in the second round and land a couple more instead of giving her any of that space.
When you locked in that guillotine choke and you sat her on her butt, did you know, oh, I got it?
Yeah, I feel like I'm known for that. So I was like, oh, I can sink this in. I have nothing to lose here. I might as well take that risk.
Well, I want to tell you that the ex-champ there, Lima McFarlane, she was rooting for you, and she said congratulations on a beautiful win. And I want to tell you, congratulations, that was an excellent performance. Give it up for Vida Artega.
With 3 older brothers, you've got to be a fighter. There is a Lima McFarlane with her mother at cage side, and celebration for Vida Artega and her team at Combat Fitness Straight Blast Gym in Boise, Idaho. I think someone on this broadcast team knows a thing or two about Idaho. I believe that someone would be Mr. Josh Thompson.
I do know something about Idaho. I went to high school in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Beautiful place there. Absolutely amazing. But hey, let's jump right into this. Lorenz Larkin versus Muhammad Brahamov. This is going to be a barn burner of a fight. Definitely a contrast of styles. You got Lorenz Larkin, who's battled and fought almost everyone in the sport at the 170-pound division. But he's also fought at light heavyweight, at middleweight, and now is settled in at that welterweight division where he belongs. When I looked at these two through the tapes, I thought Brahamov was going to be a lot bigger of a fighter, but you can see at the weigh-ins, they're almost equal in size. It's just the body styles that are different. Lorenz Larkin's going to have to use his speed, his ability to use his lateral movement, strike quickly off of that movement, and to try to land those knockout punches and get him out of there, to try to get Brahamov out of there. Brahamov, though, is going to try to get this fight to the ground with good, smart pressure, try to press him to the fence and grind on him, because that has been Lorenz Larkin's issue throughout his whole career, is battling against top-level wrestlers. So that's going to be one of those fights you got to really look to keep your eye on who implements their game plan the best. But hey, before we switch, we're going to switch over to the other side. We're going to go right into this next 185-pound weight class, which is also the last prelim on the prelims. This is going to be a great fight. The reason why I say that is Romero Cotton is someone I have trained with, have also trained for fights. He is a dog. When he comes out there, he's probably one of the strongest guys I've ever fought. He's fighting Dalton Rosta, who is almost a mirror image of him in terms of styles of wrestling. Both of them are built like Greek gods. They got into it a little bit yesterday at the weigh-ins, a little pushing and shoving. Obviously, a little friendly banter was going on before that. But when it really comes down to this fight, it's going to be, can Romero Cotton get this fight to the ground and keep that top pressure? And Dalton Rosta is going to have to try to sprawl and brawl and let the hands go. I'm excited. Hey, Mauro and John, throwing it back down to you guys for our last prelim.
We are equally excited. Great stuff, JT. And yeah, mouth-watering matchup to put a button on the Bellator 283 prelims. We've got number 7 ranked Romero Cotton. He is 6-0. We've got number 8 ranked Dalton Rosta. He's 6-0. You know what they say. Somebody's O's got to go.
And now, to make his way to the cage, we welcome Dalton Hercules Rosta.
It is obvious to see why he is known as Hercules, a physical specimen, an uber athlete, a wrestler who has wrestled almost his entire life, and then you look at his professional MMA record, and half of his wins have come thanks to his striking prowess that he has honed at American Top Team, where, again, he is surrounded by killers.
He is surrounded by killers, but those killers have been making him a much better fighter. Take a look at him in the stand-up here against Dwayne Johnson. Big shots being thrown by both. I thought Dwayne Johnson did a great job of hanging tough in this fight because he took a lot of heavy shots from Dalton Rosta. But Rosta's speed and his strength is just impressive in the 185-pound division. This is a guy that can do it all, and right now is gaining confidence. He has fought, in my opinion, the better competition overall between Romero Cotton and himself. So that might be the difference. He's been in against better competition. Will that make a difference in this fight?
College football player who doesn't know how to lose in terms of combat, began boxing at 11, undefeated as an amateur boxer, undefeated as a professional mixed martial artist, and a guy who plenty of people are high on in number 8 ranked Dalton Rosta.
And now his opponent to make his way, Romero Cotton.
Romero Cotton, he said, hey, if it's the 4th time we're supposed to meet, it's news to me, but hey, this is it. We're finally getting it done. And yeah, there have been other opportunities where this fight was supposed to take place. It is happening right here, right now. And for a guy like Romero Cotton, you talk about athleticism. Here's a guy who in high school won 10 state championships, 4 in wrestling, 4 in football, 2 in powerlifting, and it's just been onwards and upwards from there, John.
Look, he is a physical monster. His strength is exceptional. He's got great wrestling, and when he decides to do ground and pound, he never throws a light shot. Take a look at what's happening right here. This is exactly what he does. He doesn't give you a moment to breathe. He just crushes you. You talk about the old, I'm going to smash you. Romero Cotton smashes you and then just eats you up, as you're seeing right there.
Hey, he has a degree in psychology. He knows how to play those mind games, and he has it from the University of Nebraska Kearney, where he was a 3-time NC2A Division II national champion, a 4-time All-American, and the first ever 3-time champ in the 111-year history of Nebraska Kearney University. Hey, it really doesn't get better than this for a preliminary portion of a card, the battle of the unbeatens, who are just at the start of their MMA careers.
Yeah, and as simply as it gets, you said it at the beginning, the record says everything. We got 2 guys at 6-0. This should be an exceptional contest.
And kudos to both fighters willing to test themselves so early. And wow, what a fight it should be as we go to Michael C. Williams.
Tonight here in Tacoma, Washington, from Emerald Queen Casino, the time has come to conclude the Bellator 283 prelims, and we'll do it with 3 5-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Introducing the blue corner, at 6 foot, weighing in 185.4 pounds, ranked number 8. He enters undefeated, 6 wins, no losses, fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, by way of New Castle, Pennsylvania, Dalton Hercules Rosta. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner, at 5'10", weighing in 185.6 pounds, currently ranked at number 7. He too tonight stands undefeated at 6-0. He is from Hutchinson, Kansas, and fights out of San Jose, California. Introducing Romero Cotton. When the action begins, the referee in charge, Jason Herzog.
Dalton Rosta gets to train with the likes of the newly minted middleweight champion Johnny Eblin at ATT. For Romero Cotton, he is under the tutelage of some great coaches at AKA. Romero Cotton, Dalton Rosta getting ready to rock and roll inside that Bellator MMA cage. And immediately the shot by Cotton, and the takedown defense on display early from Rosta.
And that's everything. I think that's what you're going to see. You're going to see Romero Cotton looking for that takedown. Rosta's got the better stand-up. He's got the quicker hands. He's got the more technical stand-up game. But Cotton, when he gets into that takedown and gets it and gets the top position, look out. So this is a matchup of 2 monsters.
Cotton early on making his intentions known as a timeout has been called by the referee. Cotton wants to take this fight to the ground, and meanwhile,
way up, you got a little time, move around.
For Dalton Rosta, he hopes that the shots are not down put up, because there was a knee to the equator self.
Well, it was well placed.
Yes, it was, for all intents and purposes. Oh, a wild overhand right by Cotton. Windmill shot.
And one of the things that
body by Rosta
is really a question in this fight, we've seen where Dalton Rosta early in his career had problems with cardio and then has fixed it and has become very good at going the distance.
Naked shots by Cotton, no success.
Not a good idea.
Rosta has been able to defend all 3 attempts at the takedown, and you talk about Rosta sharpening his striking skills, and we see the patience. There's the fundamental jab, some feinting, and there's a level change and a takedown attempt, and a successful takedown by Rosta along the fence, however, and Cotton gets back to his feet.
Well, it says a lot as far as why. It is, he's using his hands to set up the takedown where Romero Cotton right now is not. And this is very important for Dalton Rosta to be in a position where he's making Romero Cotton work. We've seen that Romero has gotten tired early in his career. Has he been able to change those aspects? Has he been able to settle himself down when he has to be in a position where he's not the one controlling the pace? We're going to find out.
Romero Cotton.
Oh, good left hook. Good left hook by Dalton
Rosta. And Cotton has 5 consecutive finishes, but he almost got finished there by Dalton Rosta on that left hook.
And I love the patience of Dalton Rosta right now. You see, he's not rushing in, he's taking his time.
And interestingly, after Rosta started his career with 3 consecutive TKOs, he's gone the distance the last 3 times, so looking to get back on the finishing track, and he is showcasing his striking here in round 1, and again unloads with a 1-2 on Cotton.
Beautiful right hand.
And Cotton closes the gap, looking for the submission, looking for that guillotine. Rosta pops his head out and then gets popped by the knee.
So you saw how tight that was, even though he really didn't have it set up as a submission. That's the strength of Romero Cotton.
And Cotton's 2 submission wins have come via rear naked choke. He was going for the guillotine there. There's a 1-2 by Cotton with 2 minutes left in the first. There's again just no setup, just a takedown attempt that gets stymied immediately, although Cotton caught Rosta with a left hook that knocked him back.
Yeah, but he was also kicking at the time, so a little off balance.
Nice shot, though. Best shot of the fight for Romero Cotton.
Absolutely.
And Rosta unloading with the 1-2, so sitting down on the punches, and that left hook.
To the body was beautiful. You don't have to hit that liver too often before it starts to just squeeze down and make you feel like you're being stabbed.
And Romero Cotton continues to have his takedown attempt stuffed. He is now 0 for 5 here in the first round. And Rosta outlanding Cotton 23-13 in terms of total strikes landed with just over a minute left here in the opening frame. There's a liver kick on the exit by Rosta. Cotton is 32, Rosta is 26, and came in with all kinds of confidence. High kick by Cotton. Oh, there's that combination, the right uppercut.
Romero Cotton needs to be really careful with that left hook. It's coming close. He needs to start moving his head off the center line. His head's a little too static.
And again, Rosta lands the jab and goes for that right uppercut. 15 seconds left in what has been a good opening round for Dalton Rosta in this battle of undefeated middleweights to put a cap on Bellator 283's prelims.
Look at Romero Cotton there with a big left hook, but you did see that Rosta was kicking at the same time. Rosta now comes, pulls away, comes the kick to the body, right underneath the arm. Both guys had good shots throughout, but overall, Dalton Rosta landed the better shots in the first round.
And one of the headlines from that first round, 0 for 5 for Romero Cotton in the takedown department. So after 5 takedown attempts, still not mining any gold as we go into round number 2. How do you have it on your unofficial scorecard after 5 minutes and 1?
Well, I have it for Dalton Rosta 10-9 right now. That was his round. Romero Cotton needs to figure out a way to use his hands to set up that takedown more than what he's doing right now.
Of course, Cotton honing his overall skills at AKA Rosta and ATT. Rosta opening up as Cotton again looking for the takedown. And John, it's rinse repeat. He's not making the adjustments.
Well, right now he's in a position where he's with a guy in the stand-up that's causing him some problems, and he's getting hit.
Front kick.
Just that beautiful front kick right there. He's being touched, and he doesn't know how to stop it.
And double jab by Rosta, who crushes the space, looking for the body lock against the fence. So Rosta beginning to take it to Romero Cotton here early round 2. And now another timeout as
you could hear that cut.
We've got.
He brought a knee up, and you could hear it.
Accident, I understand.
Take a look at the knee that Rosta brings up right here. That is right in between.
You got some time.
It did hit the thigh, and that's what he's talking about, but it also came through and hit the cup, and you could hear it.
Up to 5 minutes to recover and continue. As
stay in the game. You're going to be ready to go? Yeah. Stay in the game. I saw. You good? Okay, guys. You're even on groin shots, yeah? All right.
You're even on groin shots. Yes, they are. But
that's good math by Jason Herzog.
Great math, and in terms of the other math, it's behooving Dalton Rosta right now. And there, the level change by
beautiful job.
With a right uppercut, a right hand, and he again goes for the takedown. He's getting lit up in the stand-up, and he knows he has to try desperately to take this fight to the ground.
He's having problems in the stand-up. You can see it. He's getting touched. He does not know how to stop the shots that Dalton Rosta is throwing. That uppercut, that left hook, continuously touching him.
And Rosta utilizing an effective jab to set up his offense.
And this is where I was talking about. Dalton Rosta, in my opinion, has faced better competition, and that better competition has taught him how to remain calm in situations, how to just keep this pace.
Beautiful left hook to the body, right hand upstairs. Best combination of the night for Dalton Rosta. And the sprawl again, the takedown defense. He has the back of Romero Cotton. And Rosta looking maybe for his first submission as tripod and now taking Cotton down, but really Rosta dominating in all facets of the fight.
No doubt about it right now.
Are you surprised?
I'm surprised as far as the wrestling. I thought that Romero Cotton, with his wrestling, would have the ability to possibly get the body lock or get the takedown on Dalton, but like you're saying, you've got to set that takedown up, and if you're not, and you're raw dogging it from the outside, your chances dwindle immensely.
And of course, we have seen throughout his career, Cotton used to being the bull and looking to take the fight to the ground, and yet resorting to a, well, messed up matador right now, because Dalton Rosta putting all the pressure on Cotton with just over 2 minutes left in the second.
Well, we talk all the time about being the hammer and being the nail. And look, throughout those 6 wins, Romero Cotton has been the hammer. Well, now he's in that position of, you know what, someone else is starting to put shots on him, and he's the nail. Let's see how he adapts to it, because right now that's not good when you're having your back to your opponent.
Getting nailed by Dalton Rosta, and Rosta really separating himself in terms of the strikes. Right uppercut by Cotton. Not a lot of heat behind it, but a lot of heat behind that jab, and the follow-up right hand by Rosta, but back comes Cotton.
Oh, it was a big right hand.
Right hand again, jack in the jaw, the left nails Cotton, and again instinctively goes for a takedown, but gets pinned against the fence.
Romero Cotton has got an anvil for a jaw, man. He took a big shot and just ate that like it was nothing.
No more shooting, no more shooting.
And you can hear his corner talking about no more shooting. He needs to sit there and just start to try to just put shots. Don't try to knock Dalton Rosta out. Just put shots. Touch him, because right now Dalton Rosta is just getting off.
Final minute of the second round. Romero Cotton, again, a three-time NCAA Division II national champion, 0 for 9 in the takedown department tonight. Now, granted, Rosta 0 for 2, but when you look at the striking stats,
Rosta's gotten takedowns. Come on. I don't care what that says. That's wrong. Rosta has takedowns, so.
0 for 2.
Yeah, guess what? Someone on that is sleeping on the job.
Well, Dalton Rosta definitely not sleeping on the job. Final 10 seconds. Another right hand there. And hey, John, he's looking waist lock.
But that was a beautiful exit by Dalton Rosta. You see what he's doing as far as landing those shots.
Beautiful performance by Dalton Rosta. His confidence already sky high coming into the fight, growing by the second.
Relax. Listen, your face, your boxing, speed your boxing. This punch is heavy body. Remember your connection C is 90 C. Every time it's heavy body. You need to stay ready, hands up every time. But it's different level, okay? Your speed, your box is very good, okay? Hey.
Here's Rosta with a combo. Beautiful shot to the body, comes over the top, kind of pushes a little bit, tries to finish with that left hook. Just grazing Romero Cotton. Everything that Rosta's doing is working for him right now. Romero Cotton needs to figure out a way to slow down that train.
Third and final round. And on your unofficial scorecard, you alluded to it already, but you feel that Cotton needs a finish in order to pull out the victory.
Yeah, Romero Cotton needs a big round, or he needs to finish Dalton Rosta here, because I have him behind. I have him losing both rounds.
Oh, and timing there, the left hand, the spinning back fist attempt by Cotton, but it's, again, Rosta who crushes the space, pinning Cotton to the fence.
It wasn't a bad idea by Romero Cotton to go for that at the time.
Absolutely not. Especially, I mean, you want that sense of urgency, and there's a double left and a right hand and another left by Rosta. Superman punch!
Oh!
Drops Cotton, and Dalton Rosta is 7-0 with his 4th KO! Number 8 just knocked off number 7, and in a division that has a new champion at the top, his stablemate at ATT and Johnny Evelyn. Well, ATT's got another middleweight monster by the name of Dalton Rosta.
Boy, don't they? Well, they had enough monsters. I'll tell you right now, this is what I was talking about. I didn't understand how Dalton Rosta could be behind Romero Cotton. Look at that Superman punch. Beautifully executed. Romero ate it. But in the end, that left hook puts him down, and he hits his head on the canvas. Hands go over the head. That's why Jason Herzog stopped it. Here comes the Superman punch. It lands. Beautiful right hand, but watch the left hook. It tags him right on the jawline. Watch this at real speed. Let's see it live. Superman punch comes, boom, and all of a sudden, it's over. Huge win for Dalton Rosta.
Hercules with all that power, a lethal left hook. Dalton Rosta smashes a home run here in his 7th professional fight, backing up all of the talk.
He's got his arm. I've done much for 3 times Division II national champion. I told everybody in the interview before him. I told everybody.
Dalton Rosta electrifying the crowd at Emerald Queen Casino in Tacoma, Washington, making a statement and, yeah, ending the prelims with an exclamation point. Let's make it official with Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, referee Jason Herzog steps in, waves off the contest due to strikes. Official time, 38 seconds into round number 3. The winner by TKO, still undefeated, Dalton Hercules Rosta.
Let's go to Big John McCarthy, who will interview the victor.
I don't need shit.
I'm here with your winner, Dalton Rosta, who just put on a masterful performance. Your first couple of fights here in Bellator, you're learning. Now you're just executing. You're calm, you're relaxed in there. You heard him multiple times and never even went after him. What is it inside as far as confidence that you have now in this cage?
My team, honestly. I mean, look at these two over here. I couldn't do what I'm doing without them. Anderson, Mike Brown, the best coaches in the world. I'm grateful to be at American Top Team. Grateful to have the training partners that I do. And this is the kind of performance you come out and put on whenever you have that around you.
Okay, you just told me that you had to prove a point because on my podcast, Josh Thompson said that he was a better wrestler than you. Talk to me about that.
I got something to say to Josh. Every single time he says something on that podcast, he's wrong about me. He said Tony Johnson was gonna knock me out if I stood with him. I beat him, shut him out on the scorecards. He said I didn't have the gas tank to go tag order, shut him out on the scorecards. And then I heard him saying, how is Dalton off his back? And you asked, how's Romero off his back? And he said he ain't gonna end up there. Well, I just fought a 3-time NCAA champ wrestler, and I out-wrestled him, and then I knocked his ass out, too.
Boy, you did. I want to tell you, congratulations on an outstanding fight. I want you to look at the highlights here, if they'll show them up on that screen. Take a look. This is your ending sequence, Superman punch, and then you hit him consistently with the left hook over and over, and that was the one that finally put him away.
Yep, that one right there put him down. I also heard him talking in his pre-fight media saying I got knocked out a few weeks ago in practice. And he said he'd never been put out cold, but there's a first for everything. And tonight was his night.
I want to tell you, that was the greatest performance I've seen so far out of you. Can't wait for the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the man called Hercules Dalton Rosta.
The Bellator MMA middleweight division has a new contender. His name is Dalton Rosta, and he gave a lot of love to Anderson Franca on his left, Mike Brown on his right, the team at AT&T. They've got another real one in Dalton Rosta. And talking about keeping it real, Mr. Josh Thompson. Any words, would you like to eat a little crow after what just transpired, perhaps?
I feel like I'm getting picked on over here. What's going on? Look, I did believe that Romero Cotton was going to be the better wrestler in this situation, but John and you talked about it all night. You cannot shoot raw dog, okay, without your setups. You've got to let your hands go. You've got to let the kicks go, and that's where Romero Cotton had some issues. The speed of Dalton Rosta, the way he put things together, the combinations in which he did it, and the timing of the takedowns really threw Romero Cotton off. You got to tip your hat, man. Great performance, great job. I'm looking forward to seeing him fight again. Good job, Dalton Rosta.
All right, Josh. Eating a little humble pie there. That's good. That's good. All right, let's get you set up. Wow. Our first visit to Washington State, a memorable preliminary portion of the card, but coming up at the top of the hour, live on Showtime. 5 fights culminating with a 5-round main event of the welterweight division. Former 3-time champion at 170, Douglas Lima, looking to snap a 3-fight losing streak. The first losing streak of his career against Jason Jackson, who's won 5 in a row. Really, from top to bottom on that main card, so many compelling contests. We invite you to join us again Top of the hour, Bellator 283 main card from Emerald Queen Casino in Tacoma, Washington. We'll see you then.
$1 million Grand Prix winner. And three-time belt holder, Douglas the Phenom Lima, returns for another title run.
Lima in dramatic fashion.
But Jason the ass-kicking machine Jackson,
Look at it here, bang!
is ready to take down anyone in his way. Two of Bellator's most dangerous welterweights in a high-stakes battle. Bellator MMA, Lima versus Jackson, tonight live on Showtime.
Showing already, John, in the way he reacts, although he got momentarily bothered there by Michael Venom Page.
Moro, he got hurt with that.
Staggered. And there's a jumping attack by Page.
Page needs to take advantage right now. Douglas is he's not quite at 100%.
Oh, and there. What a shot by Lima! Mamma mia! Douglas Lima has just defeated Michael Venom Page in impressive fashion. What a sequence! What a sport!
For the third time be the charm. He threw him hard on his shoulder there. That was a tough landing for Outlaw, but he still will not let go.
He's like Velcro on his back. Could possibly get this choke. It's in a position where if he could squeeze, there's a possibility it could end up working.
There it is, and he gets it. Full marks for Miles Jury. He took the chances late in the fight.
And of course, when you talk about experience in MMA, conversely, you're also talking about wear and tear. Left kick knockout by Gonzalez, and mamma mia! Chris Gonzalez has just touched Saad Awad.
Let's go!
This time you see Manny try to turn. There you go.
So the reversal by Nuro now looking to perhaps try to take down Magomedov, but well defended. Now just trying to keep Magomedov. What a knee strike! And Magomedov knees Manny Nuro into oblivion.
Right to the liver. You saw that knee strike come up, and he went down like he was shot. Some big, heavy shots to the body with the knees. Those do not feel good. He was able to withstand them. The problem is the damage is going to start to accumulate. It's going to start to slow him down, which is only going to make him slower in the fight. Lorenz is not going to get slower.
Been a dominant opening round, this from Larkin.
Into the body, that hurt. You can see how his body not good for him right now. He's in trouble.
Stewart's in massive trouble, and it's over.
Bergman's definitely changed this around. He's the one dominating the positions, landing the shots. Nothing real big, but just working towards right here. Looking at this technique right here. That is tight. That is trouble.
He's in a bad spot. It's over.
Franklin in the red gloves, Cummings in the blue, and Cummings immediately attacks the lead leg of Franklin. Current heavyweight champion Ryan Bader involved in the light heavyweight Grand Prix, and that kick already hurt Cummings, and all-day Davion Franklin wipes the floor with, quote, this dude.
Saunders.
You've seen Spike TV's auction hunters and flipmen.
Oh, good right hand! Big right hands there. That's it! That is it!
There's the stoppage, and the Season 5 Welterweight Tournament Championship goes to Douglas Lima, just like that. In Bellator history. Takedown, going for the darts choke. Going hard for the darts.
Butterflies right now.
You ready? You ready? Come on, fight!
Nice one.
Oh my goodness. In the opening seconds, Isaiah Hogan's pro debut is over. Here is the full fight.
Let's watch the full fight.
A perfect combination.
That beautiful straight left, right hook. And then he comes back, he does it one more time. There's that left hand that does all the damage. And then comes down with the hammer fist. Hokic was still there at this point. He got stunned.
That one did.
He goes out.
Kevin McDonald is the referee for this flyweight matchup. Scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. The undefeated Diana Avsaragova in the red gloves. The 1 and 2 Tara Graf in the blue gloves. An aggressive start. Graf coming right at Avsaragova. Avsaragova, a master of sports in freestyle wrestling, but she's on the receiving end of a striking barrage from the Tiny Terror, John.
Tiny Terror is going after. She needs to be very careful. She's starting to overextend a little bit. Nice.
Oh, and she got dropped. Wow, the master of sports and freestyle wrestling with a master display in striking. Mamma mia! Welcome to Bellator MMA, Pantera.
Avsaragova lights her up with the right hand.
29 seconds KO.
Watch what happens here. She comes in, right hand, right on the button. That stuns her. She tries to collect herself. Avsaragova, boom, right back with that right hand again. She is out, going down.
And across the cage, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner at 6'3", weighing in at 170.6 pounds. His professional record, undefeated, 3 victories, no defeats, fighting out of London, England, Michael Venom Page.
Michael, you ready? Ryan, you ready? Come on, boys, let's go. The bell in round number 1. Here's our fight clock. It's brought to you by Miller Lite, the official beer of Bellator. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time.
Oh, good right hand. He's in big trouble.
And that is it! A one-punch knockout win for Michael Page in his U.S. and Bellator debut.
Before it even began, this fight is over. This crowd is stunned into silence, man. Hometown fighter got clipped. Didn't even break a sweat. Let's see if we can get that again, since he liked it so much the first time. Look at that right hand. Doesn't even bother with any ground and pound. Just clipped him. A grazing shot right on the temple.
Watch the footwork. Crazy how he stands to throw that right hand, Jimmy.
Fighting out of Bat-Yam, Israel, presenting Aviv, the King Ghazali.
And when I say adopted Gracie, as they get underway quickly, and Aviv looks for an early submission.
He went right for an Imanari roll. Right now, he's in a position to get this heel hook.
First round, 11 seconds. Tap out the heel hook.
The official time of the finish. All right, heel hook. 3 wins, all in the first round, all by submission.
Let's take a look at that entire thing. Here you go. Comes out quickly. Imanari rolls into that leg. He gets a hold of it. Needs to set his legs in position. Now he has it. Starting to put pressure on that. Beautiful heel hook. That has got to be the fastest submission in Bellator history.
You ready? Ready? Fight!
Sharp jab, and boy, they come out throwing with bad intentions, and Hernandez getting the better of the exchange, although Luna willing to step into the so-called danger zone as well. Fast start here, John.
Yeah, Luna's, but he's dropping his hand and his chin is out.